You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
Home opener for Husticon and a beautiful scene here for the 87th Marsh Bowl at Sword Field. The Marshall Cardinals are in town after a season-opening win on the road. Their three-game road trip continues here against the Hurricane Hustisford Marsh Falcons, a squad looking to bounce back after falling to Lomira last week. Corey Sparks and Wally Lukashinsky here with you on Daily Dodge TV from Hurricane. Wally, for those watching, I don't know if you could paint a better picture. This field is beautiful. The view is beautiful. We're going to be treated to a sunset in about 45 minutes, and there's a football game going on.
Man, it feels like they rolled out the red carpet for us. There's AC in this press box. This field is gorgeous. The stadium's gorgeous. First time here at Sword Field, and I'm blown away, Corey. This is going to be a lot of fun to call tonight.
A large group of donors listed on a couple of signs as you walk in. A true community effort to put a spectacle together. High school football on Daily Dodge TV is presented to you by Columbus Family Dental, Hometown Glass and Improvement, and the Beaver Dam Unified School District, as well as McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Klodowski Real Estate, Slumberland, Pizza Ranch of Beaver Dam, Park Village Shopping Center, Richards Insurance, Preferred Dental Partners, Napleton Chevy Buick GMC, Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly, Gruber Law Offices, Beaver Dam Tire and Service, and Mayville Tire and Service, Air Care, Jerry's BP, Silica for your home, and Moraine Park Technical College. Make Moraine Park Technical College your first choice for an education tailored to your success and your growth. With campuses in Beaver Dam, Fond du Lac, and West Bend, visit morainepark.edu/first choice to get more information today. We'll step aside for a 1-minute break, and then you will hear from both coaches. Head coach Tim Meyer for Husticon, nice enough to talk to me, as well as Scott Hilber, the head coach for the Mayville Cardinals. We'll take a 1-minute break, and then you'll hear from both coaches before kickoff here from Hurricane.
Are you ready for peace of mind? Chad Guzzi here, owner of Air Care in Beaver Dam. If you're tired of unexpected repair bills, you want to sign up for our Total Care plan. It ensures top performance and prolonged life of your heating and air conditioning equipment. Air Care's Total Care customers receive annual inspections, as well as a reduced maintenance rate, plus a 10% discount on all service repairs. Air Care, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. 920-356-8860.
Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental. If you've been unhappy with your smile, it's time that you come and see us. Our team of doctors are waiting to help you get your smile back. We'll take the time to talk with you and treat you like a member of our family, not just another number. Whether it's a whole mouth makeover or simply a little tweak, we'll find the right solution that fits you. For your free, no-pressure consultation, call us today at 623-5559.
Mayville and Hurricane Hustisford hit the gridiron in a Week 2 matchup. We bring in Mayville head coach Scott Hilber ahead of the Cardinals' second game of the season. Coach, we talked about Cedar Grove, Belgium, a great football program with a winning tradition. You liked that as an opening non-conference matchup. You went into their house and took the game by a score of 33-28. Could you summarize that win and how you feel that a win against a good football program like that really sets the tone for 2024?
Yeah, Cedar Grove, Belgium is a really good program. I've had experience with them at previous job opportunities that I've had, and they've always been a tough challenge. And we love having them on our schedule because it gives us a real good measuring point right off the bat. And it's been that way for the last 4 years. We've kind of swapped games, and usually what we find out is it comes down to turnovers. And, you know, we didn't have any turnovers on Friday night. They had 3. Our guys did a nice job of creating 2 of those, and then we got some fortunate bounces as well. Overall, I was just really pleased with our team's effort. We weren't perfect by any stretch. We had some alignment issues on defense that really hurt us, and we will definitely fix this week. But I thought our effort and our energy was great, and I was really pleased how we went at it. So now we have an idea of what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are and what we got to do to get better as a team.
And you really pulled away in the fourth quarter, specifically your senior quarterback and Ryan Clark. He threw for a touchdown, ran for 2 more, both of those in the fourth. What was he doing that allowed him to have so much success in Week 1?
You know, we kind of went off how Cedar Grove defends us in the past, and they're very aggressive, and we kind of use that aggression against them a little bit. Those passes were set up a lot by our backs, who just did a great job with their ball fakes, and I got to really tip my cap to Sawyer Hardesty. Our emphasis going into this year was that our running backs had to do a better job with their ball fakes and trying to really use the deception of the wing tee. I just felt like we really got away from it last year. There were a couple of plays where Sawyer had 3 kids tackling him while the ball was in the air, and that's what we're looking for. And that by sacrificing himself, he makes opportunities for others, and other people got to do that for each other. That opened up the opportunities for Ryan, and he put the ball in the money, and our athletes like Jordan and Austin, those guys, they were able to take the ball and run after the catch as well with the open space. And Ryan,
Year or more of the same makeup?
well, I expect a very similar makeup. They got away from it last week. Once they fell down and they went more to kind of a wide open passing attack there for a little bit until the end of the game. Then they started running some more. But no, we expect the same general philosophy. They spread the team out a little bit and run the ball effectively, and at the same time they got a quarterback who he can throw the ball really well on his first assignment, but he's also really good with buying time and allowing his guys to get open. So we got to be really disciplined, both as a defensive line, like we mentioned before, not giving up the running lane so their running backs can get vertical on us. And number 2, making sure we're in our lane so the quarterback can't get outside and scramble and make the night a nightmare for our defensive back.
All right, Coach Hilber, thank you very much for the time, and best of luck against Husticon this upcoming Friday.
Yeah, thank you for the time. Appreciate it.
That was head coach Scott Hilber ahead of Mayville's matchup with Hurricane Hustisford. It's the Cardinals and the Marshmen on Daily Dodge TV for 1430 ESPN. I'm Corey Sparks. Hurricane Hustisford and Mayville football go to battle in a Week 2 matchup. We bring in Hurricane Hustisford head coach Tim Meyer ahead of his team's second game of 2024. And Coach, your first game at the helm in front of the home crowd. Could you talk about the general thoughts and emotions you're going through as that moment approaches?
I know that the crowds were really good last year, and we were happy to see all the faces in the stands. So it's an exciting time for the whole community and the players, and we hope to live up to the expectations that people have for us.
A great showcase of football last year, and this last week, some struggles in a 49-15 loss to Lomira to open the season up, and that Lomira team did have 292 rushing yards. Could you just talk about their game plan and maybe how a couple guys snuck through and broke free for some bigger plays?
Yeah, we were going to try to be aggressive in the box and stop the run. That's what they hang their hat on, and they've got a great H-back and a great running back, and the quarterback really stepped up and played well in his first game as a starter this season. We just had some problems with contain and some over pursuit and giving them those openings that they took advantage. We're working hard to clean that up going ahead to this week. Obviously, Mayville's a strong running team as well. So we know what we have to do.
This Husticon offense, pretty balanced, especially in that last game. And your quarterback in Barrett Meyer was able to throw for some bigger chunk plays at times, had that huge 70-yard bomb at the beginning, threw for 149 yards in the game overall. What do you want to see more of from this offense going forward so they can put up more than 15 against a tough Mayville squad?
We got to be better up front, try to shore up some of our blocking schemes and get better at the point of attack. Hopefully that's going to prove itself out on Friday. We're just going to keep working on it.
As you've prepared to go up against a Mayville squad coming off of a non-conference win on the road for them, what do you know about what the Cardinals bring to the table, and how have you been preparing for them?
They bring experience. They bring sound execution. They're really good, and the wing tee, double wing that they use is very deceptive. We have to stay disciplined and know our jobs. And Mayville's always going to be a good team. They have a great history and a great football culture there. So that's what we're here to do, is try to match that and build towards that. So hopefully we can match what they do.
And lastly, Coach, as we check in ahead of this Friday night matchup, who's a name or two that's had a nice practice this week and that you believe can have a great impact in the home opener for 2024?
We're really inexperienced. So every week we get to see them grow, probably more so than kids who have been at it for a long time. There's so much ceiling for a lot of these kids. So every week there's standouts and there's names. It's just a matter of flipping the right switches and pushing the right buttons, and guys like Diego Rodriguez and Quentin Brown. We're just trying to get those names that you're talking about in the limelight and let them do what they do.
Absolutely. Lots of growth on the horizon. Well, Coach Meyer, thank you very much for the time, and best of luck against Mayville on Friday night.
Thank you.
That was head coach Tim Meyer ahead of Husticon's matchup with Mayville on Daily Dodge TV. For 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, I'm Corey Sparks.
American drivers overpay an average of $368 per year on their auto insurance. Why? Because, well, insurance is hard. It's complicated. It's time-consuming to get quotes from multiple companies, so we overpay. Or we call Richards Insurance in Beaver Dam. Make one call and receive a quote from a great company like Auto Owners Insurance. The team at Richards Insurance will literally do all the work for you. So if you could be saving money each month with an Auto Owners Insurance policy, you'll know about it. How much will you save with Richards Insurance? To find out, call Richards Insurance or stop in at 123 North Spring Street, downtown Beaver Dam. With offices in Columbus, Watertown, West Bend, and Oshkosh. With over 50 employees and hundreds of years insurance experience across 5 offices, you'll get full-service counseling with no obligation. Your auto owner's insurance carrier is Richards Insurance in Beaver Dam. Call 887-1615.
We'll be there with you. Richards Insurance of Beaver Dam.
Your Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam knows that Wisconsinites take tailgating seriously, and they'll help you take it to the next level with their award-winning Fox Brothers brats and everything you need, whether you're at the game or enjoying it at home. Fox Brothers award-winning exclusive recipes use only the highest quality ingredients you'll taste with every bite and every brat. Try their 11 Grand Champion brats and sausages, including their pre-cooked Fox Brothers original brats, spicy Southwest chicken brats, and Philly cheese brats. Check them out online at foxbrospigglywiggly.com.
Cheer. Now cheer louder. Any accomplishment worth doing is worth doing with all your heart and soul. The entire team at Hometown Glass and Improvement knows that dedication, time, and respect can lead to greatness. When practicing free throws, running for a touchdown, or installing new windows and doors, it is commitment to something larger than oneself that creates a legacy. So keep cheering for your hometown team. Hometown Glass and Improvement online at hometownglass.com.
You're watching the Daily Dodge pregame show.
And we welcome you back to Sword Field here from beautiful Horicon, Wisconsin. About 10-15 minutes away from what should be an awesome sunset, and the Mayville Cardinals in town against Husticon football. Mayville will start with the visitors coming off a 33-28 victory over Cedar Grove, Belgium. And Wally, you'd told me, interesting to note, every Cedar Grove, Belgium drive ended in either a turnover or a touchdown. So if Mayville wasn't forcing one of those 3 turnovers, they were allowing a score.
Yeah, it sounds like they want to at least improve a little bit in the trenches today. That's what they're really going to angle for, and there's no reason to think they can't do it right now, Corey.
And Husticon coming off a tough 49-15 loss to Lomira. Did give up 292 yards on the ground. Meyer went 11 of 17, 149 yards through the air, a pair of touchdowns. 79-yard strike to start the game. And they start with the ball again here.
Yeah, you just mentioned Quentin Brown last week. One of his 2 catches, the first one went for 79 yards. Explosive start to the game for them. Hopefully they, at least for them, they want to sustain that for 4 quarters today.
LB is set to kick off, a pair of returners deep near the Husticon 9. There's a squib up the far side. It dies around the 25. Picked up and taken to about the 30 before forward progress is called. And out come the Husticon Marsh Falcons.
And for you college football fans, if you're familiar with those Service Academy offense, get used to it for Mayville today. On the flip side, here, as we're starting with the Horicon offense, keep your eye on number 4, Caleb Peplinski, big wide receiver. They're going to want to get him involved early and often today.
Yeah, Peplinski brothers in general, right? Both a couple of game wreckers, huge impact as Husticon takes the field at their own 31. Barrett Meyer back there in the pistol. Snap back, and he's throwing. Meyer going deep, looking for a deep strike again. He has a man wide open. And for the second game in a row, the Marsh Falcons score on the first play from scrimmage. Quentin Brown, circle his name. He's done it twice.
Talk about an encore performance, Corey. This time 70 yards, a little shorter, but still.
I think he'll take it.
He'll take that is right. Gorgeous throw, gets the ball, and then defender falls down, and then it turns into a track meet to the end zone.
We talked about it, right? A final score of 49-15, but 7 of those came right away for this offense. Husticon up 6-0 early on the Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all scoreboard. Play blown dead here before the PAT.
I can't get over that start again, Corey. A beautiful rainbow throw falls right into the bread basket.
Hit him in stride.
Hit him in stride, like you said, and Quentin Brown yet again. You see that speed running up the sidelines. Nobody was going to catch him after that ball got in his hands.
2 receptions for 79 yards and a score last week. 1 reception for 70 and a score 15 seconds into this one. Snap, hold, and kick. All good, and 7-0 Marsh Falcons 15 seconds in, and it's their home opener. I think the crowd's liking it.
No, I think it'd be hard not to like that start. You mentioned already, you're at this gorgeous facility. You got a great start from your team. A little bit of life after what they really needed from that difficult loss last Friday.
And Tim Meyer made it very clear to me a couple of days ago when we were talking about this matchup. This team is not short on talent, it's just experience. A third of their starters have not played varsity level football with their age group since middle school. Think about that. These guys know what they're doing. It's just a matter of getting those in-game reps. And when you have somebody like Barrett Meyer who can fire it down in stride and someone like Quentin Brown with that vertical speed, positive signs for things ahead.
Yeah, to your point, they actually lost 6 different all-conference players last year. A lot to ask. It's a young team, like you said. There's going to be growing pains. That happens. So it's something you just got to be patient with, but this is a well-coached team. It's a good program. Expect to see this team grow throughout the season.
These two squads played each other a little over a year ago, August 25th of 2023. Mayville took that one 36-28.
Brian set to kick off for Husticon.
Bryant set to kick off here from his own 40. Another squibber that stops at about the 25. Returned up to the 30, towards the middle of the field, cutting back towards the 35. Decent field position for the Cardinals, looking to respond after a one-play strike to open up the score.
And you heard me mention right before that touchdown play, the Mayville offense, you're going to see a little bit more of that old school, that full house look, a lot of split ends. Fullback's going to be lined up about 2 yards behind the quarterback. Very, very tight splits. Going to be a very physical kind of offense.
Devin Wendorf on the return for about 10 yards. We've heard the phrase wing T before. Tim Meyer identifying that early on in this week, understanding this team's going to have to stop the run. They're not going to win this ball game if they give up 292 yards on the ground again. They hand off to Schlender. He bounces outside. Near the line to gain, a healthy gain for the Cardinals early on.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Husticon defense, they struggled a little bit in the trenches last week. Did allow a 9.4 yards per carry, 292 yards on the ground. You're going to expect Mayville to try to take advantage of that early and often.
Schlender, a gain of 11 on the play. Seiler did a motion, kind of stuttered, ran back over, and get a pre-snap penalty here.
Looks like it was both of the Pepelinski brothers that jumped on that one. That right side of the defense line, a little anxious early on, trying to jump that snap count.
A free 5 yards for the Cardinals. Speaking of penalties, that's a disciplined team. At least looking at the first week, just 2 penalties for 14 yards. Played pretty by the book. Had to against a tough Cedar Grove, Belgium non-conference opponent that they take on every year. Another pre-snap whistle.
I think they just gave it back.
Displacement is 0, right?
Displacement
back where we
is
started.
0.
You like that one?
I did like that one.
Thank you, physics class, I guess.
Yeah, none of us are any of the wiser. 1st and 10 yet again. And Corey's making us all a little smarter.
First and 10 for Mayville at the 46.
Clark under center. He hands off. A decent gain for the Cardinals again as they cross midfield. And are they saying that ball was a fumble?
They said that ball came out?
Looking for confirmation here. Husticon's taking over. Peanut punch somewhere in there.
Well, it looked like he went down at about the 50, and all of a sudden there was a mad scrum at the 46. It makes sense. The ball was out, and all of a sudden, you got, again, the potential for Husticon to take a lead here, go up 14-0 early in the first.
Really jumping on their opponents against something they were able to do against Lomira before. Lomira finished the game out 49-8 to win that one 49-15. Handoff up the middle. There is Christian Schwartz. Tied up and taken down.
Pick up on 1 on the play. Second and 9 at the 47.
That'll make it 2nd and 9. Husticon went all the way to the state semifinals last season before being struck down by Aquinas. Motion right. And Barrett Meyer cut down around the line of scrimmage. The original one might be backing him up a yard.
Very different styles of these offense. You're seeing that much more of the spread. 3 wide receivers there, a little misdirection inside, and now you're probably looking at a passing situation here on 3rd and 10, Corey.
Meyer played in 3 games last season, 19 rushes for 60 yards and a score. Took 8 for 31 last week. 3rd and long. And there might be a neutral zone infraction there.
Looked like Ryan Clark lined up off sides.
Uh-huh.
Flag on the play, 5-yard penalty against Mayville.
Caught that right away, and all of a sudden, 3rd and more manageable here.
Yeah, and remember, this is not going to be like your college or NFL game. There's not that opportunity to get back onside once you are off.
Snap back to Meyer. He throws over the middle of the field. That pass is broken up at the 35.
Now, what do you do here, Corey? You're at midfield. You had that early score. Do you try to punt, pin them deep, put the defense back out there, or are you going to go and gamble here, 4-down territory?
I mean, small sample size, right? But the offense moving the ball. That was Schulke on the breakup. Looks like they're keeping him out there. Maybe that's a message this offense is trying to send. That first drive wasn't a fluke. We're looking to move it. Also, how about it for Tim Meyer? You know, internal hire, familiar with this program, was a part of the team last year. First game as a head coach at home in front of this crowd.
Yeah, and it's a packed house on both sides. Mayville traveled really well. Husticon having quite a few fans here on their own right. Not a lot of seats left. Going to be a fun environment tonight.
Yeah, McKinstry's Home Furnishings time out by Mayville as both sides break back into their huddles.
All things Marshman, including supporting students, teachers, and providing improvements to the
Quick start, and now both offenses kind of stuck around midfield the last couple minutes here with 9:37 to play in the first.
Yeah, and again, I'm kind of interested to see, like, do you decide to go for it? Your defense struggled last week. Feel like maybe you jump up 2 possessions early, spark that defense, keep them really engaged. You risk a lot going for it here, flipping that momentum.
All of a sudden, if they don't convert here, the Cardinals take over somewhere around midfield, only down a possession. Obviously, plenty of time to go.
When we saw last year, Caleb Peplinski, he averaged 35 yards a punt. Last week, even 35 yards a punt on 4 tries. So he's got a leg, especially at the high school level. To flip it 35 yards would be huge, but it doesn't look like that's what they're thinking here.
Not at the moment, at least, unless they go for some type of hard count. Already used a timeout. Fourth and medium here. Snap back, Meyer. Looking towards the center of the field. He throws near side, has a man, past the sticks.
He almost went back behind the sticks, too, after the catch. I'm glad that he fell down there, got the first down, back at the 43, sitting down in that inside zone there.
Quinlan Jackal fine in the pocket. Husticon advancing up to the 43 of Mayville. 7-0 the score on your Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All scoreboard. Meyer handing off to the near side. A gain of maybe 1. That's Christian Schwartz again. Seen a couple touches early. He took 3 rushes for 12 yards last week, but when you're down so many possessions late, Wally, the run game kind of goes out the window.
Yeah, it absolutely does. You start falling behind 3-4 possessions, you try to start coming back one play. You don't take the play at a time, so yeah, you definitely get away from what you like to do.
Maybe we learn a little more about Schwartz here today as Husticon working with a lead. Man in motion, a dump back to Quentin Brown. He goes on the end around, looking for the sticks, wrestled down right around him at the 33. Depends on the spot. He's looking like the X factor early. They're using Quentin Brown everywhere. In motion, striking him on the vertical.
Well, in both of these games, you saw him go to him early on those long touchdowns. They clearly want to get the speedster the ball in his hands. They're getting creative, getting to him on a little bit of an option.
Well, and somebody in Vera Meyer who played in 3 games, 21 of 30 last year, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Not a ton of experience, but some. I want to find out who his security blanket is. It looks like Brown. Ball on the ground. Mayville's got it. Muff the snap.
Yeah, and just like that, both teams 1 turnover. We're just 4 minutes and 3 seconds into this game.
Uh-huh. Mayville going to take over around where they started their first drive before turning it over at midfield.
First and 10 for Mayville at the 37.
Drive starts at the 37. So that condensed set again. Clark. Hands off to 24. That's Baker lunging forward for a gain of about 2.
Again, get used to this tonight. Tight splits. There's going to be about 20 guys in the box here from the offense and the defense. It's going to be very much played between the tackles, at least when Mayville has the ball.
I say just about 40 minutes south of here, the Badgers opening up their season in about 45 minutes. A little Big Ten look here, right?
Very much so. Like I said, I brought up the service academies before. Kind of got that Air Force Navy look, too.
10 the years back. Another handoff up the middle for a healthy gain to make it 3rd and manageable.
And Sawyer Hardesty was just an absolute animal last year. They're going to want to, well, you said 28 times he touched it last week.
Uh-huh.
They're going to want to just feed the big fella.
Had a pair of touchdowns, one from 4 yards out, one from 2. 1,300 yards on the ground, 1,400 yards of total offense from him. First team all flyways, you can see why. 3rd and 2 coming up. Man in motion, a toss to the far side. Good for the first down and way more. Cardinals moving the chains.
Yeah, you got Jordan Slender, on that like power toss. They pull that left guard to get him out in space, get outside between the hashes and numbers, and you got a little bit of an alley.
For a team that lines up almost the same every single time, they throw a lot of looks at you once the ball is snapped.
Yeah, once you get those split ends in motion, you get linebackers' eyes up, creates a little bit of chaos.
Mayville rushing up to the line here at the 48 of Husticon. Schlender sweeping through. There's Hardesty getting stifled at the line. He leaps forward for a gain of about 1.5 yards.
And that time you actually see Slender go in motion kind of right on that line of scrimmage. You're going to be looking for jet sweeps from that look today.
2nd and 8 coming up. Head coach Scott Hilber in his 5th season with the team, 35-12 since he's taken over. Couple of state final appearances. Now a handoff to Schlender on that sweep. Searching for the sideline, gets pushed out of bounds with about 4 yards to gain.
Does look like there might have been a flag that got thrown back right around the line of scrimmage over towards the far sideline.
It's like a hold on the offense. That'll back them up.
They've been moving the ball well early, Corey. It's just Little bit of mistake here. You had a false start. You see the holding here, then the fumble. They can clean it up. They're probably feeling really good about how they're moving the ball.
I'll tell you what, you think this crowd knows that it's the home opener? Even Mayville, too. You've got a bunch of spectators beyond the fencing to the right over there by the away stands. These home stands are packed.
Penalty's going to back the ball up to the 44-yard line.
This is fun to mention, too. This is like an old-school rivalry game. 87th time these teams are matched
the Marsh
up
Bowl,
in the Marsh
baby.
Bowl. Not playing every year like we used to see it, so it makes it all the more special we get them here tonight.
2nd and 18 coming up. Clark rolling out to his left, incomplete to Schlender. A couple defenders around him.
Yeah, and Schlender actually went in and played defense there as Quinlan Jackal looked like he was getting ready to settle under for a pick, and he was not going to let that happen.
Haven't seen this team throw a whole lot, but again, they set up the pass with so many dominant runs up the middle. Heard Coach Hilbert talking about ball fakes. There was actually a couple of plays last week against Cedar Grove, Belgium. Sawyer Hardesty got tackled by 3 defenders, and he didn't have the ball. That's how you know you're selling it well.
It's so fast when you have the timing like this team does.
And off to Schlender again, screen pass near side. A couple players diving on it, but that was forward by about a yard.
Pass ball is incomplete.
This Cardinals offense looked like they were driving a bit, had a first down, was on the other end of the field. Penalties killed them there.
Yeah, that's why they call them drive killers for a reason, but at least here they did get to move the ball up a little bit, flip the field, assuming you get a decent punt here.
5:22 to play here in the first quarter. A punt to the far side, fielded at about the 16, taken up to the 25, near the 30, and skirting out of bounds to start another drive for Husticon.
Yeah, and that was a boomer from Hardesty.
Quite a little Swiss Army knife there, huh?
No kidding. We've kind of got accustomed to that the last few days. Quite a few two-way players, and then, yeah, you get the big fella in there, punt it away, 30, 40 yards in the air.
One of the better running backs in the flyway. Again, first team all flyways in his junior season. And he can boot it a little bit, too. 7-0 Husticon on the Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all scoreboard. The difference, the first play of the game, and it's the second time that's happened this season through 2 games. Both on connections from Barrett Meyer to Quinton Brown. And a huge loss at Mayville front, stepping up.
Owen Steger didn't let him get away. It looked like he was trying to slip under, but he got him by that shoulder pad. And Barrett Meyer was running back a little too far. Probably should have moved towards the sideline, maybe throw that one away if he could.
2nd and 23 on deck.
Ball at the 17-yard line, 2nd and 23.
It's an offense that has opted to throw a lot more than that of Mayville so far. They're spread out here, trips to the right. Meyer taking it himself. Off the fake handoff, spins through one defender and nearly back to the original line of scrimmage. A gain of about 11. Cut the distance in half there.
Yeah, and last year we saw him run it 19 times. Last week, probably more of a higher percentage of that clip. He didn't play as much last season. Last week, 8 rushes. Very much mobile on that play, going right up the gut, making a couple guys miss.
3rd and 12 here. Giving this offense a better situation to work with. 2 receivers left, 1 right.
Play on the play.
And possibly delay of game here.
Seemed like they're trying to decide if Coach Meyer got the timeout in before the delay.
So one of the officials indicate that. Made the gesture of delay of game. And they're backing him up 5.
Head referee just pointed in the wrong direction there, but was a delay game on the offense.
Delay a game against Husticon.
Husticon backed up again. Third and about 16 coming up. Snap back to Meyer. He's mobile. Swiveling to his right. Looking for a receiver near side. Almost complete. Diego Rodriguez went up for it with one hand. Almost brought it down.
We've seen a couple times now on those play action, quick shotgun snaps. By the time he gets off that fake, there's a defender already in his face.
Good pressure there by Mayville. Now fourth and extra long coming up. Punt team will head out onto the field with 3:46 to play in the first quarter.
Looks like they had an ineligible man downfield, but naturally Mayville will decline that penalty.
Taking the loss of down. Punt from the 15, line drive. Chase Merritt bouncing outside past the 40 and slammed down in his tracks.
Tristan Hurley getting down there in coverage first. As soon as you get that returner kind of dancing on his feet, especially on a line drive where you have time to actually set up a return, very, very good play in coverage there.
Yeah, not much hang time. He could have taken that for a lot more, but actually pushed back to the 39 of Mayville. They've started all their drives around that 30 to 40 yard mark on their own side of the field. That sun just about setting.
It will be a lot easier, Corey. In about 30 minutes, we'll be able to see, buddy.
Ryan Clark under center goes to Hardesty. Muscling through for a gain of about 3, maybe 4 on the second effort.
And it goes back to what we said in the first two drives. When they're not committing the penalties so far, they're getting 4, 5, 6 yards a pop on these runs, especially up the middle to Hardesty.
A lot more committed to the run are the Cardinals out of the two teams right now. Hardesty, 6'2", 235. One of the larger players on the field in general. Bigger than some of his own offensive linemen at times. A handoff up the far side again. Hardesty leaps forward about a yard short of the first down marker. Those are consistent runs, though. You don't have to jump off the page, but 4 or 5 yard runs. Those will eat away, and all of a sudden, as this game does progress, naturally those might turn into 7, 8 yard gains, and so on and so forth.
Especially when it is run after run. It's this physical play. That wears a defense down as the game goes on.
Little staggered motion from Landon Baker. He motions again, and it's right up the middle for Ryan Clark, using his size, 6'5", 190. Coach Hilbert said he'll do that sometimes. He's not someone who's going to try and juke everyone out of their shoes, but he'll put his shoulder down and gain those tough yards.
Yeah, we're used to seeing nowadays in the spread, you have all these skill position players all over in this tight, full house kind of look. You have 3 or 4 guys you're thinking about getting the ball there. The last thing you're thinking is Ryan Clark's going to keep it on a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 1.
And Ryan Clark scored one of his 2 rushing touchdowns last week on a quarterback sneak from the 2-yard line. Mobile and strong, a fake toss to the right, now over to Schlender, and he's moving the chains.
And that's always a fun play, too. You fake that toss. You give that inside handoff to that split end. Typically, you get those defensive tackles cheating towards that motion. All of a sudden, you got a big hole right up the middle of the defense.
One of those packages we saw the Cardinals rehearsing just about 10, 15 minutes before kickoff today. They are up to the Husticon 37. The furthest they've driven so far. It's around the area of the field where they got hit by a couple penalties. Fake handoff to Hardesty. It's a toss to the left. Landon Baker putting down the shoulder and gaining 9.
Those split ends have been giving them a lot of trouble. I think you're sitting there, you're keying so much on Hardesty. You know that you got one of the best players in the conference coming back. Makes it a little easy to sometimes forget about those smaller guys in that motion.
Yeah, keen focus on somebody who, again, had 28 touches on the ground just last week. Cardinals handed the ball off to him 241 times a year ago. Timeout for Husticon. McKinstry's Home Furnishings timeout. 2nd and 1 here. The Cardinals, they've been patient. We haven't really seen them deviate from their game plan. Exactly a minute to go here in the first quarter.
No, and I don't expect that you will see them deviate from the game plan at all. They've had success on the ground. We kind of were expecting it. Husticon struggled a little bit in the trenches last week. Mayville would probably try to take advantage of that. And with this creative powerhouse kind of offense, there's no reason to get away from it right now. It's a long football game, Corey.
And two great programs from the last couple of years. Aquinas actually unites these two programs, referencing way back to 2021. 2021, Mayville goes all the way to the state championship game, falls to Aquinas by 2. Then they do it again, fall to Aquinas by 6, 28-22, 28-26, the final scores there. Then this Husticon team is a game away from the state title game, and guess who they fall to? Aquinas.
No.
A juggernaut, and these three teams have made it to at least the state semifinal game in one way or another, and they've all fallen to the same team. Roll out right, a pass, and a huge chunk play all the way up to the 7-yard line. Cardinals in the red zone.
Well, in there with that fake toss, you go and play action. It actually fooled linebacker Joe Beavers there. You saw him actually face guarding the wide receiver downfield, not realizing it actually got dumped off right behind him. And now you got a 1st and goal for the Cardinals.
Logan Miller showing off the open field speed there. Had a couple of receptions for 54 total yards in 2023. Ball spotted right at the 7. Far hash.
This is Sawyer Hardesty territory right here.
Saw it twice last week. A punch in from 4 and 2 yards. He's in that fullback spot. A handoff to Hardesty. And back over to Schlender. There's that deception again.
Just incredibly difficult to be a linebacker against an offense like this. There's so much going on. It feels like there's 7 people moving at a time.
A split-second decision there. Ball spotted at the 5. 2nd and goal from it.
And you can't run an offense like this if you don't have a quarterback you can trust like Ryan Clark.
That is the end of the first quarter. Husticon out in front 7-0 thanks to the first play of the game. A 70-yard connection from Meyer to Quinton Brown. Deja vu from last week, 79-yard connection between those two. We will head to the second quarter, but first, take a 1-minute break here on Daily Dodge TV.
Jerry's Automotive in Beaver Dam is a champion of our local schools. Team up with Jerry's Automotive by pumping your gas at their Spirit Pump, where 2 cents of every gallon is donated to a local school each month. Jerry's Automotive also provides exceptional vehicle service and repairs and a great selection of convenience items. Visit Jerry's Automotive Center WI.com and on Facebook. Jerry's Automotive, 700 North Spring Street in Beaver Dam, across the street from Beaver Dam Food Pride.
Chris Kladowski Real Estate. As a realtor, there is such joy in driving past one of our clients' houses that is now the place they call home. Be it a first-time home buyer, a relocation to our community, or someone upsizing or downsizing. We are passionate about the place you call home and meeting your wants and needs each step of the way. We sell the houses, you make it a home. Questions? Give us a call, 920-219-9212. Kladowski Real Estate, your trusted real estate advisors.
7-0 our score. Husticon out in front of Mayville in week 2 of prep football action here on Daily Dodge TV. The Cardinals driving. Hardesty pushing up the middle. And he's in. Touchdown Cardinals. Make it 7-6, a PAT short of knotting this one up.
Saw 28 touches last week. Yards on yards for the big fella. And so far today, he's having his way going up the middle. I know he had the fumble, but he's running hard. They're going to keep feeding him.
Just showing the trust there, right? Had a turnover earlier, but, I mean, that was a Sawyer Hardesty dominated drive. A couple of Jordan Schlender touches mixed in there.
Yeah, that's why you got to trust your senior leadership on a team like this. Mistakes happen. It just happens when you play hard. Keep feeding the big fella.
Mayville a PAT away from tying it up, and they do so. With 11:55 to play in the first half. 7-7 the score on the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All scoreboard.
That makes a score with 11:55 to go in the second quarter. Mayville 7.
Pretty close ball game, and I know it's early. We're only a fourth of the way home, but coming off a 49-15 loss, I've got to think head coach Tim Meyer pretty happy with that first quarter performance.
Yeah, we honestly saw it similar to last night, coming in where you saw a Marshall team that didn't look great in week 1. But when you have a well-coached team, you got that senior leadership, you at least see that fight, that fire here early. No reason to think that it won't keep going here.
Absolutely.
Serta set to kick off for the Cardinals.
Logan Serta getting set to kick off here. It's another one of those weird combinations. He's the starting left guard.
Can't be high school football, man.
A nice squib there. That one going far side. It's out of play. All of a sudden, field position just got a little bit better.
If that ball dies there, I don't know. I think a Cardinal's going to get to that ball first. Saw it again. There's a little bit of a gap there between that 40 and 25 outside the hash, over by the numbers. Could perhaps be a play in there. It could have just been a mishit. It's kind of hard to tell, but either way, only a few yards on the penalty.
Saw a couple of those looks in the Lake Mills Marshall game we were out there covering yesterday. Kicker's just kind of aiming for that 30-yard destination. Playing to the sidelines. Husticon with the ball. All knotted up at 7. Meyer out of the gun, hands off. A rush to the far side, good for about 4.
Tristan Hurley yet again there. Big and pretty important drive here. Get a first down. Kind of settle yourself back in, because realistically, outside that long touchdown pass, we haven't seen them really move the ball the way they would like to on offense.
And you talk about time of possession, right? Mayville evening things up there, but they took a while to do it.
And there's another one of those drive killers we talk about. 1st and 20 now.
A lot different than 2nd and 6.
Going to bring up 1st and 20 at the 25.
Team that's opted to pass a little bit more in the first quarter. See what they opt to do here. Myers back, lifts the right leg up and calls for it. Handoff. That'll barely get back to the line of scrimmage. Hurley again reaching over with his right arm, trying to get a yard.
And on that, keep an eye on Quentin Brown. He's lined up all the way over by the numbers when they have the ball on the far hash. That typically is an indicator that they are going to run the ball. They're trying to spread out, take as many people out of the box as possible.
And you can use him, especially after that first play, as a decoy. Someone's going to shadow him no matter what.
Yeah, and again, you're seeing him way out by the numbers here. Bottom of your screen.
One wide on each side. Meyer dropping back, going for Brown. Hits him off the hands. And there was nothing but green grass in front of him. No safeties cutting towards towards Brown.
And honestly, it kind of looked like Brown. He had like a stutter step there around the 50. And if he kept running that entire time, didn't expect maybe the ball to be a little underthrown, he probably catches that in stride.
Oh, yeah. Husticon taking another shot down the field, but now it's 3rd and 20 from their own 25. Mayville was showing pressure. A pass deep down the field, incomplete. Good breakup by the secondary.
Yeah, and looking for 6'5", senior receiver Caleb Peplinski there in a seam route. Little high. You can still overthrow a 6'5" guy, Corey.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, but just a hair too high there, and they are going to have to give the ball back to the Cardinals.
Just a glorious sunset here from Horicon, Wisconsin. Cool field design, too. You drive in, and you literally just walk straight to the press box. This field is in a divot. It's a punt landing around the 44 of Mayville. Promersberger cutting to the outside. He's got the 30 all the way up to the 25. He turned down the Jets quick.
And Peplinski probably saved a touchdown there. Got by, quite a few Horicon Hustiford players there and hit that sideline hard, but Peplinski taking the good angle, able to at least bring him down at the 23, but a short field here for Mayville.
Promersberger has one of those unique roles. He's a sophomore listed as one of the backup quarterbacks and a linebacker. And then as you just saw on that play, he is utilized on special teams from time to time. Kind of one of those secret weapons where there's not a whole lot of film on the guy. But when he's got the ball in his hands, danger. Mayville up to the 23. A handoff near side, stifled behind the line of scrimmage. Schlender couldn't get anywhere.
That was a great job, too, by that defense, not really falling for that misdirection that time. You know your responsibility. Hit that guy, whether or not he's got the ball or not. That's your job. That's your responsibility. And there he takes him down for a 2-yard loss. Big, big play after that big return.
10-10 to play here in the first half. All knotted up at 7 on the Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all scoreboard. 2nd and 12. Handoff straight up the middle for a gain of about 5. Hardesty again.
And this is the uniqueness of the high school game, too, because you're at the 20. I know when you're watching college or NFL, you're like 3rd and 8. All right, well, you're probably in field goal range. This is 4th down territory here.
Yeah.
You can give the ball off again, try to get 3-4 yards here, and then trot the guys back out there for 4th and 3.
Saw Elijah Misna warming up from around 35. He was hitting. Not sure that's the decision this team would go with at the moment. Again, moving the ball pretty well.
And the defense is playing so well, too. You can trust them giving the ball back, even if it is at the 15-20.
Yeah, just got hit over the top once. Nothing but sound adjustment since. And timeout called by Mayville. McKinstry's Home Furnishings timeout with 9:20 to play here in the first half. Two teams at a stalemate right now, but for the second time in a row, Mayville driving. Tell you what, Wally, we had rain earlier today around like 10, 11 a.m.-ish. Kind of went away. This has turned into a beautiful afternoon and evening.
Yeah, we were at the Broad Fry. I kind of cheated, got over when it was nice and warm. Can't believe it was raining because look at this right now. Yeah, the color up in the sky, this fantastic field. Sword Field's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to spend a last Friday night in August this year.
Handoff up the middle, nothing doing. Decision time for Mayville.
And that's another thing to keep an eye on today. You have all that misdirection. We talked about the quarterback sneak there. He fakes that naked boot, Ryan Clark, that is. Wouldn't be surprised to see him pull that later. Nobody stayed home on that one.
Uh-huh. 4th and about 5 coming up. .45 to play here in the first half. All knotted up at 7 still.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a pre-snap motion. Oh, they're calling delay a game. And that's a backbreaker in that scenario.
And that was huge for Husticon. By the time they actually set up a way to snap that ball, there were 2 defensive tackles that weren't even set yet.
Mm-hmm.
And we know the way Hardesty runs the ball, especially in that A gap, quick handoff there. You're not ready, and all of a sudden 5 yards is not that overly difficult to get there.
Ball marked back to about the 23 of Husticon. Huddle breaking quickly. Snap back, a fake handoff. Clark rolling to his right. Throws across his body and hits his man in stride inside the 10.
Austin Thorson there on the catch. It looked like he wanted to run at the last second. He sees him open up at the 10 and a strike there. Good, strong-handed catch from Thorson. And now you set yourself up 1st and goal, Corey.
Nice job by Ryan Clark, extending the play there, leaving the pocket, buying himself a little bit of time.
How about us back-to-back days? Go from Ryan Brunn to Ryan Clark, former NFL and MLB star names.
Right. Any inspiration on this one, I wonder. 1st and 8 from the 8. And Clark is gobbled up, but after he hands the ball off, that ball's on the ground.
It was recovered by the Cardinals. What I'm interested in, it looked like that was kind of almost like a quick little pitch forward, and if that's the case, it would have been an incomplete pass.
Second goal to go at the 5.
They're marking that ball at the 5.
Clock's moving. They're calling it a fumble.
So Mayville keeps possession. Hardesty behind his QB and Clark. Snap back and a handoff to Hardesty. He pushes the pile forward to about the 2, near the 1. Just doing his job.
I was going to say, and I think that it doesn't take a magician to have an idea of where there's a good chance where the ball's going to be going here on 3rd and goal at the 1.
Sawyer Hardesty, in less than a game and a half so far, already has 3 touchdowns on the season.
I feel like this is where you go 6'2", 235-pound senior right up the gut once again. Make them make a play.
21 rushing touchdowns last season. First team all-conference goes to him. No issues at all for Hardesty. Doing it easily.
Now you're starting to see the Cardinal offense settle in a little bit. The offensive line starting to have a little bit more of their way at this point. It's going to be a very, very big, very critical drive coming up here for Husticon.
Sawyer Hardesty with 4 scores in 2 games, kind of maintaining the pace he set last season. Extra point on the way. 14-7, 14 unanswered for the Cardinals. With exactly 7 minutes to play here in the first half. On the Gruber Law Office's 1 call, that's all scoreboard. Slow, methodical, but all of a sudden Mayville, they're rolling.
They are, and they're feeling comfortable with their defense right now. Defense look good. They gave up that big play at the beginning, but they've really settled back in. They've controlled the line of scrimmage and really have had their way on that side of the ball.
They don't seem too phased.
No, and that's one of those things, too. If you're the Cardinals' defense, you're fine with that happening. You want to be aggressive. You don't want to be complacent. If it's a big play, you're going to get beat. Perfect pass, speedster like that, you can live with it.
Mm-hmm. It's all about how you respond. They've responded well. Brown and Promersberger back to receive. Promersberger returned that punt all the way back to about the 25. To start what was a pretty short drive to give Mayville the lead. Near side is Brown. Up to the 30, cuts towards the middle, makes a man miss. 35, up to the 40, wrestled down. Nice return again. We've seen this team thrive on special teams.
I was going to say, a little bit of a sliver there. He hit that hole hard. Looked like he might have been getting tackled at the 25, but he breaks that one-arm tackle, makes a quick move, and, all the way up to the 40.
Good field position here for Husticon.
Can't afford those penalties again.
Mm-mm.
Seen it derail a couple drives here.
A couple of 2nd, 3rd and longs where they're kind of forced to throw over the middle of the field. Too high look here from Mayville. And pushing the pile maybe a yard. Meyer taking it all by his lonesome.
Second and 8 at the 42.
Gave him about 2 there. Husticon looking to respond again. A 70-yard strike to start things off in this game. First play of the game. Pretty silent sense. Fake handoff. There goes Meyer. Takes a big lick a couple of yards short of the sticks.
Yeah, and he ran over there towards the Browns side of that line.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been giving too much safety help, if you've noticed. We saw that opening drive touchdown. I like that they're staying aggressive. Trust your guys. Keep everything in front of you.
Mayville looking to make a stand. Husticon trying to break over midfield. Looking for the equalizer. Keep an eye on Brown. Meyer, couple pump fakes. He rolls right. Eyes downfield. Throws across his body, incomplete.
Great play by Jordan Schlender, too, knocking that ball away. Looked like there might have been a step there. Could have got a first down instead. Now you got a 4th and 2. And a big question again here for Husticon. What do? Do you try to flip the field? Do you try to get a little momentum back here?
Offense looks like, at least for the time being, they're staying out there. Yeah, Jordan Schlender, a game wrecker last year. 81 tackles at the safety position. Had a couple forced fumbles. 4 interceptions across 11 games. Seen him cut off the route there.
81 tackles and not first or second team all conference.
A handoff to the right. Running backwards before he gets forwards. And across the line to gain. Tristan Hurley keeping the play and the drive alive.
We've all heard it before, but that's one of those plays you're doing. No. Oh, okay. Yeah, nice job. Looked like a couple times if he just lowers his shoulder, he might be able to get that there before getting to the sidelines.
Right.
Instead, he kept going horizontal, and it got outside. Nobody kept the edge, and they get that first down.
Hear a lot of coaches say, get vertical, get vertical. That time, his strategy did pay off.
Yeah, and at this level, too, it's so hard to go that horizontal route. You got to be a true speedster.
Mm-hmm. We've seen it a couple times from Hurley. Husticon up to the 48. That ball batted up in the air. Honestly, not sure if it went forwards or backwards. It goes out of play around the 49, calling it an incomplete pass.
Yeah, it looked like the arm was coming forward. Maybe hit on the arm. Maybe hit the ball. Wasn't really sure, but either way, does the job. 2nd and 10 now. 5:16 left to go here in the second.
Meyer looking for a screen far side. 2nd and 10 here. 5:16 to play in the half. Haven't seen this team really put a drive together. Again, that home run play, 70-yard strike. Meyer, fake handoff, throws far side. Off the hands.
Just a little bit too much zip on that one for Isaiah Hollingworth.
Myers pass is incomplete, intended for Diego Rodriguez.
Ooh, correction. Sorry about that. It was number 9, Diego Rodriguez, not number 8. Either way, 3rd and 10.
A couple quick passes. This team's trying to maybe not have Meyer scramble as much. Get the ball out of his hands quickly.
Yeah, it's hard when their backup quarterback's a freshman right now, not a lot of experience. It makes it really hard to be calling design runs for Barrett Meyer.
Right. Seen him do it a couple times, more extending the play. Man in motion, it's a toss to him. That's Brown. Looking for the 50, maybe gets there. He's far short of the line of scrimmage, and 4th and very long coming up.
Waiting to see a punter come on. So far, not happening.
Again, a team that's shown they're not afraid to air it out.
Yeah, Caleb Peplinski last week averaged 35 yards a punt on 4 tries. It kind of surprises me that they're not trotting him out there for that. But no, the offense stays on the field.
Saw a couple substitutions for Mayville. One person almost went deep as if to be that punt returner.
I like that timeout there from Mayville.
I think those substitutions were kind of anticipating surely they'll punt, and they didn't.
Yeah, and you even saw right before that timeout, everybody was still within like 8 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Keep them in front of the sticks here. That's all you got to do. You're going to get the ball back, have a chance to go up 2 possessions before the end of the half.
Give up those underneath routes, that's completely fine. You just don't want anything thrown past the sticks, which are right around the 38 right now. You got to think in some way, shape, or form, whether he gets the ball or is a decoy, Quentin Brown's going to have to play a pivotal role in this upcoming play if they do keep the offense out there.
Yeah, it feels like he's been the focal point of the offense. I wouldn't be surprised, too, in this 4th and 12, you might have to throw a little bit of a jump ball. Look for, again, 6'5", last year, first-team All-Eastern Suburban, Caleb Peplinski. Keep an eye on 4 and 13 in this play.
Head coach Scott Hilber was talking about the defensive line, their fundamentals needing to improve. Said energy was good, fundamentals not so much. Also said he's trying to build depth on the line. Now, in high school football, specifically Division 4, 5, 6, once you get to those smaller schools, not very often you have 4 offensive linemen playing only one way. He's really looking for depth there and finding it early as Hilber. See what the line's got here. They bring 4. Meyer airs it out near Brown. He hits the turf, and pass interference thrown after the play.
Wow, and you saw the side judge grabbing at the flag there for about 3 seconds before he decided to throw it. They will give it enough there with the 15 yards for an automatic first down.
That's huge. Took that vertical shot, went right at Brown, made no secret of it. Plenty of attention around him. Had a brief discussion there, was waiting for the ball to move, kind of holding my breath on that one.
I was wondering if there was a moment if there was an uncatchable conversation being had or something, but no, 15 yards up to the 36, and Husticon is driving.
Husticon putting together one of their better drives so far. Handoff to the left side.
That ball's
Healthy
out.
gain. That ball is down. Seeing who uncovers it first. Staying with the Marsh Falcons. Saw 2 early fumbles in the first couple drives. Didn't see anything for about the last 35, 40 minutes, and pops up again here.
Yeah, you see him take that inside zone, bounce to the outside. He kept that football in his right hand to the inside of the field, and he took a helmet to the ball instead of switching hands. And lucky for them, they are able to jump back on that one.
So 2nd and medium here from around the 31. 3:45 to play here in the first half. 14-7 the score. Mayville out in front on the Gruber Law Office's 1 call, that's all scoreboard. Handoff up the middle, good for about 2.
Carried by Christian Schwartz.
Schwartz getting involved. We saw him in the first couple of drives. They've kind of rotated around the running back room. We've seen Hurley a few times. Now back to Schwartz.
And only the 3 rushes last week was effective, 12 yards. Someone to keep an eye on, possibly getting involved a little bit more.
Big play here, you got to think. 3rd and 4 coming up. Meyer, 2 to his right, 1 left near side. Brown isolated. He's looking his way. Meyer overshoots him. Brown had a step on his man.
He is a 9-route machine down there. He just loves that fly route. Gets that quick release, the little shimmy, had a step and just a hair too far.
And take a look at the crowd right in front of us. Everyone was about halfway out of their seat, ready.
Yeah, we all know it's that whole, you buy the whole seat but only need the edge, Corey.
4th and 4 here. Offense stays on the field. Brown still bottom of the screen. Another pre-snap penalty. And false start that'll back him up.
False start against Husticon. 5-yard penalty is going to back the ball up.
Seen a couple of those. We got hands on the head for Tim Meyer.
Well, I think the reason he's so frustrated is at 4th and 4, especially this part of the field, you really could do anything. 4th and 9, you kind of put yourself in a box. Everybody knows that you're throwing it now.
And likely who you're throwing it to
And
based on the
likely
last
who you're
few
throwing
plays.
it to.
It hasn't been an issue, though. We're facing a similar situation, and Brown drew a pass interference. He's on the bottom of your screen. 2 to the right. Meyer takes the snap, shuffling to his left. Now looking back up the middle. He's pressured, spins, and is cut down well short of the 26. Turnover on downs. Mayville taking over.
When you saw on that play, Mayville actually shifted their safety all the way over outside the hash on Quentin Brown's side. 2 guys basically boxed him over there, just knew he was taken away, and you saw Barrett Meyer look over there real quick and looked off and immediately decided to pull it down and try to get it with the legs.
Felt like that was the one read, and beyond that,
1st and 10, Mayville at the 32.
defensive line being pretty disruptive there, too.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if he split through that last tackle, he had room. He probably would have got there, but strong play by the Mayville defense.
Clark under center again. Hardesty behind him. Hardesty takes it, up to about the 36, gain of 3. And back to this offense, call it what you want. It's consistent, it's effective, and it's the reason Mayville has the lead right now.
Well, now you're going to see they're going much quicker tempo.
That's the one thing, right? Especially for a team that runs the ball a lot. You got to go no huddle here.
And Austin Peplinski coming off the field a little shaken up. That
Keep
would
an eye
be
on that.
a major loss for this defense.
Hardesty in the backfield again. Clark extending the play and threw into danger there.
Yeah, delivered a strike just a little bit behind him. Lucky that no safety was back there. Ball was tipped, but fell innocently to the ground around midfield.
Yeah, Gavin Peterman. Safety was kind of in the area there. Ball fell behind him. And quickly now, 3rd and 6. And for a Husticon offense that throws the ball a decent amount, has kind of been playing the sidelines, specifically with Quentin Brown. If they can force a turnover on downs here or a punt or just get the ball back, that's plenty of time for them.
Yeah, and it would definitely give them an opportunity. They want to at least go in the half 7 or less down at this point.
Mayville gets the ball in the second half. The counter and a handoff near side. There's Schlender looking for the 45, nearly up to the 50, well past the line to gain. Fresh set of downs, and he got out of bounds.
Yeah, and Schlender there on that little bit of a toss gets out of bounds. That's important because both of these teams using some timeouts here in this first half. Mayville actually out of them, so they're going to be utilizing that stop on first downs and that out of bounds as well.
Looking for the sidelines, and that's mainly been the man in motion that they've given it to in Schlender, whereas Husticon's offense has been looking for Brown a lot. More on the passing plays. False start.
Hardesty just a little bit ahead of schedule there. Twitched just before that snap.
2:02 to play in the first half. Mayville out in front, 14-7 over Husticon. If you're just joining us, thanks so much for doing so. Corey Sparks and Wally Lukashinsky here with you. Husticon setting the tempo for the second straight week. A first play touchdown. 79 yards from Meyer to Brown last week, 70 this week. Hand out to the outside. Landed Baker. Maybe back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and I was going to say you're going to see this Cardinals offense quickly to the ball now. 2 plays already called.
1:45 to play. Handoff up the middle. Hardesty. Past midfield. They're moving, but they're sticking to the run.
When it's your identity, this is where you're kind of calling that no huddle and looking for just a big chunk play. Need the first down clock stoppage.
But again, that heavy utilization of Hardesty sets up that ball fake. We see it here. Clark going deep, has a man at the 40. Up to the 30, it is Hardesty. Fake the handoff and then have him peel out on a route.
Gonna see them hurry up again at a line. Clock stopped at 1:14 as the chains are gonna move.
We've seen Hardesty utilize on a variety of ball fakes. That time the ball fake was actually to Schlender. 1:05 to play. Little out route far side. Nice play up to around the 21.
Clock's running inside a minute here, 54 and counting.
Schlender on the play there.
Pick up 9 on the play. 2nd and 1.
Gotta say I'm impressed with Mayville. Granted, it's around the same offense they've been running, very run-oriented. But to go no huddle and be that effective, and it seems like communication's on point, impressive.
Well, and they got a little bit of a break there, too, as Quinlan Jackal's shoe was off, so they actually had an official's timeout. It gave them a chance to reset here. Clock stopped at 46.
And now a timeout from Husticon.
After a little bit of an awkward situation, we've got a timeout Husticon.
And that's one of the better PA calls I think I've ever heard.
I love that.
After a bit of an awkward situation, we have a timeout by Husticon. That was awesome.
Well, and it was drilled. I was just saying it's exactly what it was, too. 45 seconds here. You imagine this is where you can still actually hand the ball off up the middle. You've been trusting yourself to get a couple yards. If you do so, maybe get up, potentially spike it. Clock will stop on that first down.
Offense moving well. They've been efficient. And as a reminder, there is another game going on Daily Dodge TV right now. Beaver Dam out in front of Baraboo in their second game of the season at home. They are up 21-0 in the first half.
And you love to see that, too. Austin Peplinski is back in there, feeling good enough to continue. And he can make a huge impact, too. You make a stop before the chains here, you're going to put Mayville in a difficult situation.
Second and short here from around the 21. Clark with Hardesty behind him. They've stuck to the run. This time Clark drops back. Looks far side, has a man. Touchdown Cardinals. It's Joran Schlender breaking free and getting into the pavement.
And that was a beautiful ball there. Talk about falling in the breadbasket. No one around, just being able to catch it, walk right into the end zone.
And for an offense that was real methodical, just putting together longer drives, essentially had to do a 2-minute drill there and executed it to perfection. 20-7 now.
And this is why when we were talking in the first, you stick to what you do. This is what you are. This is your identity. You are a physical team. You like to run the ball. And even there with 2.5 minutes to go, put together a 60-yard drive.
PAT is through the uprights. 21 unanswered for the Cardinals with 39 seconds to play on the Gruber Law Office's one call, that's all scoreboard.
I'll be interested to see Mr. Sparks if we actually see Husticon come out here aggressive, or are they going to be a little content to go into the half down 14 and regroup?
And think again, too, that the Cardinals do get the ball coming out of the half. So they've got a 2-possession lead, and they're in a spot to make it more unless they've got that vertical threat in Quinton Brown. I think the issue is now it hasn't been a secret for the last quarter and a half. He's had at least 2 guys dedicated to him on every play.
Yep. Imagine you're going to see in the second half, too, that safety is going to be creeping to that side of the field and just bracket him, make someone else beat you.
Diego Rodriguez and Quinlan Jackelback. 39 seconds to play in the half. A squibber. That ball is on the ground at the 20. A return up to around the 26, maybe lunging forward to the 27-28 with 32 seconds to play. Well, chaos there for a second.
A little bit. You got a little hairy there, but yeah, we're able to at least get back to the 27. And again, very interested to see how they come out here. How aggressive do you go?
Could see a kneel, could see one of those handoff up the middle situations. If it breaks free, then they utilize a timeout.
They do have one remaining for them as well.
A spread out formation here. Meyer dropping back, looking near side, has a man at about the 35.
They'll have to use their timeout here unless they're going to let it go and just get on the ball. Looks like they're electing to do that.
Owen Mookie. 15 seconds to play here in the first half. Ball up to the 35. Meyer looking near side again on another out route. Mookie juggled it, brought it back down, and then lost it on his way out of play.
I thought he was going to bring that in on that deflection for a second there.
This is where you start to ask the question, how far can my quarterback throw? Because all of a sudden you get a couple more of these sideline plays. There's 11 seconds. That's probably good for 2, maybe 3 plays. You set up a deep shot here.
Ooh, you actually are seeing Quentin Brown go up to the top of your screen. He's been mostly down here on the bottom on the left side of Barrett Meyer.
And too high look, Meyer. But
Ooh,
across the field, that is picked off. Mayville going the other way. It stopped at about the 6. There is 1 second on the clock. They took it off. Is that the end of the half? That's the question.
We'll see what the head referee saw there. It looked like he was actually tackled with 2 seconds left.
See if they put anything back on the clock, because that's huge all of a sudden.
It looks like he is indicating at least 1 second will be back on. Now, here's your question. Do you take a shot for the end zone, or do you have enough trust in your kicking game? Is this an opportunity to maybe see what you have in the kicking game?
Uh-huh. That was Weston Teeters on the pick. Kind of camped that. Everyone's attention went towards the middle of the field, and that pass was cut off. One more chance for the Cardinals. Clark drops back. Throws near corner. 50-50 ball falls incomplete. Your score after one half. Mayville out in front of Husticon in the second of a 3-game road trip to open up the season here on the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All scoreboard. A 2-touchdown lead for the Cardinals. Had a chance to make it 3, unable to convert. Had 3 turnovers in the first half. Ball's been on the ground a lot and a pick towards the end there, Wally. Entertaining football so far.
Very entertaining. And I tell you what, we didn't really have a chance to talk about that because that was such a chaotic end to the half. But I believe that was Barrett Meyer who made that play and actually brought down Teeter at the 8-yard line. Massive play. If he's not there to do it, it's 28-7 at halftime right now.
And they would be losing the ball. So Mayville will receive in the second half since Husticon started the game off. Again, 70-yard strike to really set the tone, but 21 unanswered cents for the Cardinals. We'll step aside for a break and come back with a halftime report here from beautiful Horicon. 21-7 the score here on Daily Dodge TV.
There's a lot of great teams in our area to cheer for this season, but why not join another winning team? McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. We've got quite the strong returning lineup this year with quick lift chairs, strong lazy boys, and comforting sectionals and sofas. At McKinstry's, we can even frame your favorite sports memorabilia like pictures and jerseys. Stop in and shop with another winning home team today. McKinstry's Home Furnishings.
When it comes to a winning lineup, turn to the selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam. Their team goes the extra mile to provide a winning experience, from hassle-free financing options to exceptional customer service. It's like having a dedicated cheering section cheering you on in every step of the vehicle purchase. Give the team at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam a call at 920-885-3301 or visit napleton151.com and find new roads with their winning inventory.
The winter weather can play havoc on your hands and hair. Fear not, the folks at Wonder Nails and Spa has just a ticket for you. Call 887-4374 and let them pamper you. Let them chase away those winter blues. Let's talk hair. Long, beautiful hair, shining, whoa, I digress. The team of cost cutters will put a shimmer and shine to your mood, and their retail products are the best in the business. Call 885-0437 today. That's why you hear everyone say, I shop Park Village Shopping Center, and you should too.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we'd like to thank our Swedish friends for bringing the buffet to America. They called it the smorgasbord, but it was a success anyway. So we started our own buffet and loaded it up with pizza, chicken, sides, salads, and cactus bread. And you can even request any pizza you want anytime you visit. We call it Buffet Your Way, because smorgasbord your way, well, that doesn't rhyme at all. Pizza Ranch.
Check out your local Pizza Ranch in Beaver Dam, Watertown, or Waupun, or check out pizzaranch.com.
At Preferred Dental Partners, our core values are more than just something we put on our wall. They're something we live out. Core value number 2 is the wow experience. This means that from the moment you walk in the door until the time you leave, we want to provide an experience for our patients that is unlike anything you've had before. There are lots of choices of dentists, and we never want anyone to feel they have to be here. We want them to choose to be here because they feel heard, welcomed, and well cared for. If you want to see what the wow experience is about, call or text Preferred Dental Partners today.
Hi, I'm Josh Schneider with Silica for Your Home. We have a great feature available in our showrooms, our digital price tags. They search the internet every day and allow us to adjust the prices based on our competitors. That ensures you are always getting the best deal. If it finds a lower price, it will automatically change our Silica price in real time. These digital price tags are all about saving you time and money. Shop Silica for Your Home for the best sales, service, and selection.
Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam in Watertown. Stop in and see everything that our store has to offer. We built it just for you. We have mattresses, box springs, power bases, bedroom sets, furniture, living room sets, dining sets, everything that you would need to complete your entire home. We've got our interest-free financing and a really great local staff here to help you. So you've got all local people here to help you out from start to finish for anything that you would need. So stop in, shop local, and save big with us. Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam in Watertown. Stop in and see everything that our store has to offer. We built it just for you. We have mattresses, box springs, power bases, bedroom sets, furniture, living room sets, dining sets, everything that you would need to complete your entire home. We've got our interest-free financing and a really great local staff here to help you. So you've got all local people here to help you out from start to finish for anything that you would need. So stop in, shop local, and save big with us.
21-7 your score. Mayville out in front of Husticon. What a game so far. First play from scrimmage following the kickoff. 15 seconds in, and Husticon jumps out in front to an early 7-0 lead. Meyer to Brown. Get used to that combo. We've already seen it twice of the 70-plus yard touchdown opening play variety. You don't see that very often. Rarely would you see it twice in a season. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row, Wally.
It makes you wonder about what's going to happen next week. That's back-to-back times. Like you said, first play. And we saw towards the end of the first half the defense give him a lot more attention. I imagine it's going to continue that way the rest of the season, the way people are seeing the success on that long ball.
The issue for head coach Tim Meyer, and he talked to me about it before, following that up, it's awesome to have something like that, a shot in the arm from the beginning. Obviously, the momentum, especially in a home opener situation, is going to be with the Marsh Falcons in Husticon. But now 21 unanswered for Mayville. They get the ball back. The first thing Husticon needs is a stop and then a score. A stop and a score, and it's a one-possession game. And they've got the guys to do it. It's just a matter of, again, inexperience, like Coach Meyer had recalled before. You need these guys to band together, though, and put up a stop against a tough run game from the Cardinals over the course of the last quarter and a half.
Yeah, and outside of those kind of turnovers, or at least that first fumble, penalties have been their best friend. Otherwise, the only people that have been stopping the Cardinal offense has been the Cardinal offense. Yeah. So to your point, big opening drive here for the Husticon defense.
And again, we almost saw it turn into a 28-7 ball game. Weston Teeters, we rolled the tape back during the break. One of the 4 down linemen put his right arm up and roped it down. I can't tell if he caught it clean or not, but at the very least deflected it to himself. And that ball's coming in hot. The ball is fastest off the hand, and he caught it right there.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a T.J. Watt looking play. We've seen that. Obviously, you Badger fans, them kicking off tonight.
Yep.
But, yeah, an outstanding play. But, hey, you got to give a credit to Barrett Meyer, too, not giving up on that.
Making that play in the corner.
Yeah, makes that play in the corner with 1 second left. If he doesn't do that, it's a 28-7 ball game, and it has a completely different complexion right now.
Absolutely. We've seen Husticon stand up a little bit more on defense. They put together a couple of stops. Mayville, the run game, has set up everything, though. Anytime we've seen success in the past, it's been because how many defenders? Do you want to say 2, 3, sometimes even 4 are focused on Sawyer Hardesty because he has been that consistent solution, guaranteed to get you 4+ yards almost every time he touches it.
Well, and they've been masterful, too, at mixing in all of those guys, the split ends, the quarterback draws. It is keeping this defense on its heels. You know Hardesty's going to get it a bunch, but you at least have to respect those split ends. You have to respect that motion. You've got to respect the tosses and the jet sweeps.
So many different options, and credit to Ryan Clark, again, someone who had 1 rush for no yards last year. He really wasn't involved. It was Cohen Radaman's offense. Ryan Clark has taken it over, and even though he does hand the ball off a lot, there's a lot of complex packages where the ball could get lost. We saw 1 blemish there, but for the most part, a clean first half. 2 touchdowns in the first half, and 4 so far on this young season for Sawyer Hardesty. Your score through a half of play. Mayville out in front 21-7 over Husticon. We'll step aside for 4 more minutes here on Daily Dodge TV.
White Construction is cheering on our student athletes in the community, and they want you on their winning team too. They are expanding and looking for passionate individuals who want to build their future as a team. Join a company that values teamwork, excellence, and community spirit. They're now hiring for multiple positions around Wisconsin, including general labor, fieldwork, and heavy equipment operators. Visit congruix.com to apply today and step up to the plate with White Construction. Let's build something great together.
Are you ready for peace of mind? Chad Guzzi here, owner of Air Care in Beaver Dam. If you're tired of unexpected repair bills, you want to sign up for our Total Care plan. It ensures top performance and prolonged life of your heating and air conditioning equipment. Air Care's Total Care customers receive annual inspections, as well as a reduced maintenance rate, plus a 10% discount on all service repairs. Air Care, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. 920-356-8860.
Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental. If you've been unhappy with your smile, it's time that you come and see us. Our team of doctors are waiting to help you get your smile back. We'll take the time to talk with you and treat you like a member of our family, not just another number. Whether it's a whole mouth makeover or simply a little tweak, we'll find the right solution that fits you. For your free, no-pressure consultation, call us today at 623-5559.
Cheer. Now cheer louder. Any accomplishment worth doing is worth doing with all your heart and soul. The entire team at Hometown Glass and Improvement knows that dedication, time, and respect can lead to greatness. When practicing free throws, running for a touchdown, or installing new windows and doors, it is commitment to something larger than oneself that creates a legacy. So keep cheering for your hometown team. Hometown Glass and Improvement online at hometownglass.com.
Jerry's Automotive in Beaver Dam is a champion of our local schools. Team up with Jerry's Automotive by pumping your gas at their Spirit Pump, where 2 cents of every gallon is donated to a local school each month. Jerry's Automotive also provides exceptional vehicle service and repairs and a great selection of convenience items. Visit Jerry's Automotive Center WI.com and on Facebook. Jerry's Automotive, 700 North Spring Street in Beaver Dam, across the street from Beaver Dam Food Pride.
Chris Kladowski Real Estate. As a realtor, there is such joy in driving past one of our clients' houses that is now the place they call home. Be it a first-time home buyer, a relocation to our community, or someone upsizing or downsizing. We are passionate about the place you call home and meeting your wants and needs each step of the way. We sell the houses, you make it a home. Questions? Give us a call, 920-219-9212. Kladowski Real Estate, your trusted real estate advisors.
When it comes to a winning lineup, turn to the selection of new and pre-owned vehicles at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam. Their team goes the extra mile to provide a winning experience, from hassle-free financing options to exceptional customer service. It's like having a dedicated cheering section cheering you on in every step of the vehicle purchase. Give the team at Napleton GM in Beaver Dam a call at 920-885-3301 or visit napleton151.com and find new roads with their winning inventory.
Hi, I'm Josh Schneider with Silica for Your Home. We have a great feature available in our showrooms, our digital price tags. They search the internet every day and allow us to adjust the prices based on our competitors. That ensures you are always getting the best deal. If it finds a lower price, it will automatically change our Silica price in real time. These digital price tags are all about saving you time and money. Shop Silica for Your Home for the best sales, service, and selection.
And welcome back to Horicon, Wisconsin, here at beautiful Sword Field. The score 21-7. The Cardinals out in front of the hosting Marsh Falcons. Husticon again starting the game off with a 70-yard connection between Meyer and Quentin Brown to make it 7-0. Just 15 seconds into this one, and the Cardinals 21 unanswered. 2 touchdowns from Sawyer Hardesty, and then an end-around type of play to Joran Schlender. We had a little visit from the Marshman mascot earlier, Wally. Corey Sparks and Wally Lukashitsky here with you. And we were debating a food review. Is it in the cards?
I was just going to come back and ask you. There are brats, burgers, and hot dogs on the menu. What are we trying today, boys?
I'll be honest, I brought it out.
You brought it out. So we got hot dogs or hamburgers if you want to try one. We got a hamburger over here for Aiden. What are we thinking for you here, Mr. Sparks?
We'll go with the dog.
All right, we got a dog. You know what? I'll go cheeseburger then. We got a hamburger, cheeseburger. We're going to test out all the Wisconsin Husticon food here. I'll be right back for you guys.
I absolutely love it. So Mayville coming into today again at 1-0. They won their opener. They start the season out on a 3-game road trip. And first game was against a Cedar Grove Belgium team that they've typically opened up non-conference play against over the course of the last couple of years. And head coach Scott Hilber actually said he likes the challenge. Currently going into that game, he had a losing record against them, but was saying he enjoys the fact that there's rigor, they're a good challenge every single year, a successful football program that they can use as a measurement. They took that team down 33-28, but one of the highlights there, obviously the defense causing 3 turnovers. They've caused 2 today, a fumble and a pick right at the end of the first half. But every time they didn't get one of those 3 turnovers, Cedar Grove Belgium actually drove down and scored a touchdown. We've seen more stops. Not so much 3-and-outs, but drives being stopped in their tracks as both teams start to warm up a little bit here. Mayville in a big circle on the right side of the field. And that was a loud intro coming in. They got off the bus about 50 minutes before the game started. Everyone doing jumping jacks now. They were all clapping in sync. It's a Cardinals team that's bringing the energy. Sawyer Hardesty, a pair of rushing touchdowns in the first half, 4 so far through a game and a half. Fresh off of a junior campaign where he had 21 scores on the ground and was first team all-conference. Look around the Flyway Conference in 2024. Obviously, everybody's still in non-conference play, but Laconia had a game yesterday. They are 2-0. Campbellsport, Lomira, Mayville, and St. Mary's Springs, who took the conference title in 2023, all at 1-0, along with North Fond du Lac being at 1-1. Omro and Winnebago Lutheran, the only winless members of the conference early on in the 2024 season. Husticon gathering near head coach Tim Meyer. First-year head coach Tim Meyer, an internal hire. He was relatively involved with the 10-3 team from last year that was just a game away from a state championship appearance. Fell at the heels of Aquinas, the team out of La Crosse that has been dominant, a wagon the last few years, and the same team that Mayville ran into in the state championship game in 2021 and 2022. Sun has set, the lights really taking full effect here at Sword Field. As Husticon getting set to kick off, they did receive to begin the first half. They will boot it away to a Mayville squad that has had one of the better running games we have seen early on in the season across the state. And Wally Lukashinsky here with me, bringing the food. We're going to have a review. I figured I'd do the team a favor, get the hot dog. We got a good variety going on. We know what brats taste like after today.
No kidding.
Not that the brats here aren't good. I'm sure they are.
I tell you what, brats, one food the rest of your life, it's in the conversation for me.
I don't know about that. I like brats. For the rest of your life?
Ooh,
Kickoff. That ball's on the ground. It hits the Cardinal, and Mayville does recover it around their own 35.
Aiden is giving us 2 thumbs up on the regular burger here.
I'll have to wait for a strategic pause here.
I was going to say, this might be a fourth quarter break kind of thing for me. Tell you what, though, Corey, we were talking about this going into halftime. Critical drive for Husticon here. Get off the field. Kind of establish yourself. Keep this thing a ball game.
A stop and a score. Keep the crowd into it as well. Home opener here. Hardesty cuts back up towards the middle. Stopped around the 41 for a gain of 5. He's done that all day. Broken record, but consistent. It's a whole lot easier when your offense can start in a situation where it's 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, as opposed to 9, 10, or 11. And minus the penalties, they've managed to do that so far.
Yeah, now we're entering the 7th quarter of the season for Mayville, and it's been just a heavy dose of Hardesty. There's no reason to believe it won't be more of the same this half.
Really excited to see how this team pans out, especially in conference play. Another rush near the sticks. We'll see if they move the chains here. Looks like it's right at that line to gain. And it is.
Stop on the play made by Ethan Strife.
Interested they didn't measure that one there. That was tight, but it's going to at least give them a fresh set of downs anyways. Hardesty again up only 2.5 yards as part of that full house right behind quarterback. Need to get him on that soft toss there.
Another chunk play around 9 yards here for the Cardinals. Kind of want to compare this to the Lake Mills team we saw yesterday, especially early on. Just slow and steady, wins the race. If you're a team that's committed to the run and you can back it up, especially in this situation, you're up 14, you've got a quarter and a half and some change to go. We're looking at 10:35 to go in the third quarter. The clock is your friend.
It absolutely is, and even when you struggle in the first half, because the first quarter wasn't perfect for Mayville, you got to stay with your identity. You got to be physical like they are, and it wears defenses down.
Handoff up the middle for a minimal gain, but the second effort might have gotten it. We'll see where they stop the forward progress. Hardesty again.
And Tristan Hurley breaks through right away, makes that contact in the backfield. Just hard to bring down that 235-pound frame of Hardesty.
A couple of officials kind of negotiating on where that ball should be marked. Where it's at right now would make it 3rd and about 1.
They did just give it to him.
Oh. Moving it back forward about a yard. Originally, it was sitting around the 45, which would have made it 3rd and a long 1. Now it's at the 44. And I do want to give it to this Mayville team, even though they did succeed in taking down a tough Cedar Grove Belgian football program that's had success year in and year out. Through 50 attempts, they were only at 3.2 yards a carry. So for them to come into this game and really stick to it, trust their line, it's been impressive. And a huge play for the Cardinals. Far side, down to the 15.
Well, you just talked about that line. Huge hole off the left side. Again, you get that misdirection. People keying on Hardesty. Get that split end handoff underneath and takes it through that alley for probably 25, 30 yards.
Kind of the second of that triple option. Landon Baker, we saw him rehearsing in that role in practice, 15, 20 minutes before this game started when they were running 7s.
We do have a Husticon player down over on the far sideline.
Hoping he's all right, yep. Hasn't gotten up quite yet. Baker's somebody who had that big play just a moment ago. Limited sample size in 2023, but when he got the ball, 7 for 60. Very efficient player. We'll step aside for a 1-minute break here as the Husticon player hopefully gets up and is all right. 21-7 Mayville out in front here in the 3rd quarter.
Hey, it's Stacy with Slumberland, Beaver Dam in Watertown. Stop in and see everything that our store has to offer. We built it just for you. We have mattresses, box springs, power bases, bedroom sets, furniture, living room sets, dining sets, everything that you would need to complete your entire home. We've got our interest-free financing and a really great local staff here to help you. So you've got all local people here to help you out from start to finish for anything that you would need. So stop in, shop local, and save big with us.
Quinton Brown, the player that was down on the far sideline, walking now to the near sideline, taken out of this play. I mean, talk about a game changer, especially for the Husticon offense. Here's Schlender on an end around, cuts back up the middle near the 5. Helmet comes off. Game getting physical here.
Worth monitoring, too. We talked about Quentin Brown coming off. Was able to get off under his own power. Might have been a cramp. They're desperately going to need him on that offense, though, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
For a team that's moved the ball between the 20s a decent amount, but outside of that opening drive has not managed to score. This is Hardesty territory, at least from what we've seen the last few drives. And it's actually a handoff over to number 24, Landon Baker, into the end zone. Touchdown Cardinals, a 20-point game, and it's all the run game.
Well, and that's, again, what happens when you do hand the ball off to Hardesty. You and I were sitting there thinking he was going to get it again. Probably Husticon was thinking similarly, and you get that split end on that motion, and coming underneath on that big 30-yard run, does the same thing there with the touchdown run.
First touchdown of the high school career for Landon Baker. And the snap muffed. So still just a 20-point game. 27-7 the score on the Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all scoreboard. And we'll step aside for a 30-second break before the ensuing kickoff here in the 3rd quarter on Daily Dodge TV.
White Construction is cheering on our student athletes in the community, and they want you on their winning team too. They are expanding and looking for passionate individuals who want to build their future as a team. Join a company that values teamwork, excellence, and community spirit. They're now hiring for multiple positions around Wisconsin, including general labor, fieldwork, and heavy equipment operators. Visit congruix.com to apply today and step up to the plate with White Construction. Let's build something great together.
Talked about Sawyer Hardesty, a couple of touchdowns here, now a 27-7 ball game, but that time it was Landon Baker, and a couple of different options. Sometimes it's Jordan Schlender on kind of a sweep or an end around, sometimes it's Hardesty right up the heart, and sometimes it's Baker on kind of an inside zone look. That ball muffed around the 35. A race for it.
Husticon does have it.
Yeah.
That one kicked off of Hunter Jawinski. Ball trickled around a little while. Looked like there was pretty much anybody's ball there at the 40. And luckily for Husticon, they got the ball back and now have an opportunity to try to crack into that lead a little bit.
And it's not an onside kick, but it is kind of a squib type of kick that I feel like we've seen a lot more across the state of Wisconsin in high school the first couple of weeks here. Why not? If you don't have a guy who can boom it to the other end zone and really flip the field, you shoot for a turnover there. The keeper up the middle, Meyer, looking for positive yardage, gets a couple.
Well, just going back to the kickoff for a second and going off of what you said, you're making people that are not skill position players field the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So you forfeit 5-10 yards, and you can live with that.
You mentioned skill position players, and a very important player on this offense in Quentin Brown, jogging right back onto the field. Good to see, obviously for both sides from a sportsmanship standpoint, but for Husticon, for an offense that needs some electricity, he's been the main source. Focus your attention on him, bottom of the screen. You can call it one-on-one, but usually the safety's leaning his end. Second and long, another handoff up the middle. Minimal gain.
Again, the 87th Marsh Bowl today. Don't get these all the time anymore. To get rivalry football the last Friday of August.
3rd and 8.
Great night to be out here in Horicon.
It's a long time, 87.
Long time.
Sports director Wade Bates was telling me there was a few years of hiatus in there when these two teams weren't in the same conference. They aren't again, but they're continuing the tradition. Pretty cool to see.
We need to have more of it. Rivalries are what make these sports so special.
Meyer drops back, uncorks one. Top of the screen, huge chunk play for Husticon, all the way down to the 4-yard line.
Just a perfect pass, a perfect catch in stride, running full speed. Second time they've hit on a home run ball so far today.
Diego Rodriguez that time. We've talked so much about Quentin Brown. Meyer directs his attention to the opposite end of the field.
Well, and you really needed that out of Coach Meyer. You see him fired up right now. You need to have other players other than Quentin Brown step up in the passing game. Otherwise, he's going to be continued to get keyed on.
Absolutely. Meyer looking near side. Touchdown, Husticon. Right back in this ball game, 27-13.
Well, and you saw there, they hurried up to the line, got there fast. Mayville not able to get set up on defense. And that was actually a completed ball there to Owen
Mookie there.
Owen Mookie, yeah, excuse me. And then
how about the light show
I was
there?
going to say, I'm sure you guys who are watching at home saw the light show there. Completely threw me through a loop. My brain broke.
Got the strobe going.
I literally just started looking all around like a little kid. So, yeah, apologies for that.
You shot me a look like, okay, they've got it all here. PAT is good, and that's important to note because of the muffed PAT on the prior possession for Mayville. It is a 13-point game. Husticon with their first score since the opening play of the game.
Well, and all goes back to that fly route that we just saw perfectly placed in there from Barrett Meyer to Owen Mookie. And, man, that was just what the doctor ordered on multiple fronts.
Mookie on the score. First touchdown of his high school career, rushing or receiving.
And now we're almost in that same spot we were 15 minutes ago. A huge opportunity for Houston to get off the field, give their offense a chance to make this a one-possession game once again.
And then if you look over at the side of head coach Scott Hilber in his 5th season, what do you think the plan is for them? Choose 7 minutes off that clock and run the ball some more. This is, again, where a run-oriented scheme really plays into the hands of a team like Mayville that's working ahead right now. Booming kick, this time not a squib. Returned up to the 20. 25, near the 30. And that is where the Cardinals will take over on offense. That was Joseph Promersberger.
What a name.
Right?
I love that name. There's a couple that we've had this year. I'm like collecting them throughout the
Ryan
season.
Braun's got to be in there.
It's got to be. Again, Ryan Clark got all these former NFL, MLB star names.
Schlender's
Makes me
pretty
feel
cool.
really old, too. I'm not going to lie to you.
Now we discovered Ryan Braun, plays for Lake Mills, team that got a 21-14 victory yesterday, was born the year after Ryan Braun's Rookie of the Year campaign. A bounce to the outside, Schlender. Keeping those legs churning for a gain of about 3.
And you saw Gavin Peterman there at the end of that play really punching at the ball. It's probably a note of emphasis for this defense. Let's try to get a turnover, especially over here. You'd be plus territory. Imagine they're going to be very, very aggressive on that front.
Especially when you're starting to feel confident in this offense, and all the more help it would be to let them take over around the 33. A gain of 3 here. Now Hardesty back there behind Clark. A handoff to him. Hardesty untouched for a few yards, and he uses that second effort and that strength to get the first down.
Just keep what's what the doctor ordered. It's the medicine right now. 5, 6, 7 yards up the middle. Keep that clock going. Starting to wear down that defensive line.
And now 6:30 to play here in the third quarter. Mayville out in front, 27-14. But Husticon fighting back on that prior drive. Big chunk play to Diego Rodriguez. Mookie with a 6-yard touchdown reception, making this a ball game. See if the defense can get a stop. Fresh set of downs, toss to the outside. And stifled around the line of scrimmage, much to the home audience's pleasure. Brent Seiler getting the touch there.
Usually don't see that too often, that quick pitch to the short side of the field. Doesn't take much to get outflanked there. Maybe trying a little surprise after all the Hardesty dives here.
Lots of ball fakes to him. Hardesty back there again. Or that wing tee. The handoff up the middle, and the entire crowd was fooled there.
Yeah, they were. I was fooled a little bit myself. Got to see Austin Peplinski jump in there, tackle Ryan Clark. I almost said Ryan Braun. Man,
Yep.
it got in my head there. But tackle Ryan Clark.
Everyone was cheering. Meanwhile, Sawyer Hardesty just lunging forward for an extra 3 or 4 yards. That's how effective that deceptive offense of Scott Hilber is. 3rd and 6. Little motion back and forth by Landon Baker. Scored on the last drive. And a handoff to Hardesty. Using that brute force again to, reset the chains.
235 pounds.
It's hard to stop.
I mean, 28 carries last week. When that gets moving, you remember back in the day, it's the Mike Allstott feeling. It's a lot less fun to tackle that guy after a couple hours on this football field.
Little Peyton Hillis.
Ooh, there you go.
Good
Little
Madden cover.
Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I hear you. Not quite sure what the stop was there.
Thought we had a McKinstry's Home Furnishings timeout for a moment. Play resumes. Brief pause. A toss to Schlender near side. Takes a big hit. Caleb Hodgson laid the wood on him there.
He's had a quietly effective game himself today. Just one of those guys that always is there to rally to the ball, and you need to when you are going against a fullback like this.
4:10 to play here in the third. Mayville working with a 13-point lead and the ball. Heavy run so far. This time a fake. Drop back and a wide open catch around the 10-5 end zone touchdown. Austin Thorson gets involved.
And again, I mean, the runs, what they've done on the ground today has set that up. Everybody sold out. They probably had 2 people he could have thrown a touchdown to on that play behind everybody 25 yards upfield.
Just a lot of attention, not even always on Hardesty, but on that run game in general because they've done it so effectively.
And he even saw on that Hardesty did that big head fake, drops the body, makes it look like he has the ball.
It's been selling it.
Linebackers collapse, and all of a sudden you have a wide open guy 25 yards over the top.
Going for 2 here to try and make up for that muffed PAT attempt. Throw over the middle, incomplete. 33-14 the score on your Gruber Law Office's 1 call, that's all scoreboard. A 41-yard strike to Thorson. Again, using that deception to really create on offense. Mayville firing on all cylinders here.
Yeah, that was a massive response there. As soon as you feel like Husticon starting to feel like they might be back in this game, they make it a 3-possession game once again, just methodical, take 3-4 minutes off the clock, and then that big play they've been setting up all day.
Getting really everybody involved, too. If we look at the scores, Hardesty, but then Schlender, Baker, and now Thorson. And don't get me wrong, Hardesty's been a huge role in all those, but more in the form of a decoy the last couple of drives.
Well, and that's what happened. You give him 28 carries the first week, monster game, and then, yeah, you're going to key on him, and it opens everybody else up.
Rodriguez and Brown deep, but that a much shorter kick. Husticon going to take over around their own 30.
The first attempt for Husticon at the 32.
So 3:52 to play here. Now Husticon had a good response. One of their last drives out.
They throw the ball probably more than almost any team that you would see in like rural Wisconsin here. Not afraid to throw it deep.
And a lot of confidence in Meyer, considering he didn't see a whole lot of playing time last season. Cohen Radaman really running that offense. And guess who on that reception? Quinton Brown for a healthy gain of about 7.
Yeah, to your point, you have a lot of confidence in this kid, and for good reason. You've seen it. He has a beautiful deep ball. He just needs a little bit more time to be protected, and frankly, the running game needs to be better to give the passing attack a little bit of an added wrinkle, something that you're not sitting on necessarily.
Oh, yeah. There he is in the bottom of the screen again. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Brown isolated. Meyer looking to him immediately. Now he scrambles, gets up to the line of scrimmage, and pushes forward for a gain of about 2 or 3.
I know you're probably tired of hearing it, but Sawyer Hardesty once again, their very big open field tackle, making it 3rd and 5, about 3rd and 5, maybe 3rd and 6.
And Hardesty, one who had a great impact on defense last year, too. A pair of sacks, couple fumble recoveries, had a pick 6. 3rd and 5. Meyer, huge juke in the backfield. He's got a first down and more past midfield. Nice move back there.
Yeah, and that burst of speed is something we really haven't seen from him. Pulled down right away, stepped inside that edge rusher, and then able to get 15 yards there on the quick decision.
And this is a guy in Meyer who maybe didn't have a whole lot of time to play last season, but he's only a junior, so he's got all of this year to figure it out, and I have a feeling he and this offense, if they're not going to be pretty soon, they'll be a well-oiled machine by 2025. Meyer again, dropping back, looking at an out route near side. Got a man. Owen Mookie.
Becoming a bigger part of the offense in this second half.
And we're starting to see, this is a team that really relied on the home run play, attempting it, whether or not they converted, kind of a mixed bag. Now they're getting more comfortable with these little out routes, these shorter route combinations, and they're gaining 7, 8, 9, 10 yards a play, which is good to do sometimes, and they're still moving fast. Meyer back there again. Empty backfield, rips one through the middle. Nobody home.
I know he's tapping on his chest saying, hey, I underthrew that ball. That's on me. I tell you what, though, I really like that quick decision. He saw the safety cutting on that out-breaking route. He had him open. I like the vision. Just left it a little low, and obviously he knows that himself, too.
Yeah, taking accountability there. Second and 10 for Husticon. Moving the ball again.
We've seen Caleb Peplinski play quite a bit of tight end today, but they do have him split out in the slot here.
Meyer scrambling some more. Throws over the middle. Way to extend the play. Right around that first down marker. We'll see where they mark the knee down.
And it is Peplinski there. Hasn't been involved as much as we expected. So I think, again, between him and Owen Mookie, getting some new names in there. And you know what that's going to do is it's going to open up Quentin Brown a little bit more as well.
You know, all of a sudden, they don't forget about him, but the Mayville defense starts to gain an understanding that he's not the only threat on this offense. Third and a very short one. Meyer out of the pistol. Drops back. Launches one near side for Brown and overthrows him.
And again, we've seen that probably 2 or 3 times tonight. This far off. Just so close, just a little bit overthrown. And now you have a 4th and 1. And honestly, the most success this team has had is through the air. It's not, I guess, his slam dunk of just running up the middle and gaining yard as you would typically see here.
Especially with the size you can find on the other side with guys like a Sawyer Hardesty who can plug the hole and make life really difficult, even if this offense does only need 1 yard.
Still out of shotgun.
Brown bottom of the screen. Meyer takes it himself. He's got the first down easily. Gain of about 3.
But unfortunately, they have a hole, and it's bringing it back. It's going to be 4th and 11 now.
Oof.
You saw the Mayville defense there. Kind of that old school kind of defense you saw. It's like a 6-2, 6 guys right nose to nose against all those offensive linemen, just daring them to run up the middle. And a little misdirection, but did get it done without the hold. But now need 11 yards, Corey.
Yeah, now no doubt what this offense is going to opt to do one way or another. Had some nice pass plays. Passing situation here. 4th and 11, 45 seconds to play here in the third quarter. 33-14 to score on your Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All scoreboard. Trips right. Meyer drops back, looking past the sticks. He throws over a couple defenders, and that ball is picked off. Mayville forcing another turnover. This time, Emerson Middlestad.
Well, his hand did get hit on that throw in a weird way. You don't hate it. You
kind of a
get
bunt.
sacked there.
Not really,
yeah,
but
you would have gained 15 yards back. So I don't have a problem with him trying to force that downfield. Got to do something down 3 scores late in the third.
Second interception we've seen from this Cardinals defense so far. They forced 3 turnovers today. Forced 3 turnovers last week. That's 6 through not even 7 quarters. It's a disruptive defensive front. And that's an interesting team to look at from 2023 because, again, a year removed from back-to-back state finals appearances. All 6 of those losses were within 14 points or less. They weren't getting crushed. Another huge play here. Hardesty dragged down around the 40.
Don't let him get going downhill. Talk about difficult to bring down. 20-yard run. And going back to what you just said there, Corey, yeah, this is a defense, this is a team with a championship pedigree. And honestly, I don't even think we've seen nearly the best football from them yet. They're still giving up more yards than we're used to and accustomed to seeing. As the season goes on, they've looked better today. But last week, we mentioned, every drive ended with a turnover or a touchdown. It hasn't been too different today.
End of the third quarter here. Mayville out in front by 19. 33-14. Over Husticon, we will step aside for a 1-minute break here on Daily Dodge TV.
Are you ready for peace of mind? Chad Guzzi here, owner of Air Care in Beaver Dam. If you're tired of unexpected repair bills, you want to sign up for our Total Care plan. It ensures top performance and prolonged life of your heating and air conditioning equipment. AirCare's Total Care customers receive annual inspections as well as a reduced maintenance rate plus a 10% discount on all service repairs. AirCare, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. 920-356-8860.
Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster at Columbus Family Dental. If you've been unhappy with your smile, it's time that you come and see us. Our team of doctors are waiting to help you get your smile back. We'll take the time to talk with you and treat you like a member of our family, not just another number. Whether it's a whole mouth makeover or simply a little tweak, we'll find the right solution that fits you. For your free, no-pressure consultation, call us today at 623-5559.
Mayville operating fresh set of downs to start the fourth quarter, and another first down on a rush. Gotten accustomed to seeing that. Jordan Schlender on the sweep there.
We do have a Husticon player down.
Looks like that's Caleb Hodgson. We've seen him make a couple of plays, as you mentioned before, Wally. Kind of a quiet but effective impact.
Big first game of the year for him last week, too. 7 tackles, 1 tackle for loss. Gonna be a pivotal part of this defense. They're gonna need him to be all right.
Corey Sparks and Wally Lukashinsky here with you for Mayville and Husticon. 35-7 the score on the other Daily Dodge TV game in the fourth quarter. Beaver Dam out in front of Baraboo, a Golden Beavers team looking to go 2-0 to start out the season in non-conference play after being 6-5 last year, breaking the 500 mark. And we will step aside for a 30-second break here on Daily Dodge TV.
White Construction is cheering on our student athletes in the community, and they want you on their winning team too. They're expanding and looking for passionate individuals who want to build their future as a team. Join a company that values teamwork, excellence, and community spirit. They're now hiring for multiple positions around Wisconsin, including general labor, fieldwork, and heavy equipment operators. Visit congruix.com to apply today and step up to the plate with White Construction. Let's build something great together.
And welcome back to Swordfield. 33-14 the score. Mayville out in front of Husticon with 11:53 to go in the fourth quarter on the Gruber Law Office's one call. That's all scoreboard. Just threw a lot of numbers at you. Wally, 3,787. What do you think that means in this context? After this play, we'll get your guess. Little swing run near side and a healthy gain of about 9 for Brent Seiler. 3,787.
All right, so are we talking about someone involved in this fear?
Not
Maybe
someone.
yardage?
Nope.
Something.
People are involved.
Mayville's rushing offense last year?
What are we looking at? Population of Horicon.
No way.
And I want to bring that up because I challenge you to find a city or area or county or anything, a group of people in a certain area, we'll say that, as if that's a technical term, that has a facility that looks like this. And the first thing you see when you walk into this facility is a whole list of donors. The fact that that Horicon is less than 4,000 people, and you walk out into this little divot right behind a hill and see this beautiful facility that so many pitched in to make, I mean, that's impressive. To put something like this together in such a small community, that is phenomenal.
It's the best place on earth to spend a McKinstry's home furnishing time out. This is an unbelievable field. I've told you, ironically, earlier today talking about this because I had a feeling it was kind of built into a pit.
Yeah.
And talk about lucky, just talking about us.
Yeah.
We got the park literally right behind the press box and just walk in. My legs are basically, I got my Fitbit on. I'm not going to get any steps today.
Just a beautiful facility for a community of this size, and obviously a very close-knit community that cares about their athletic program. Husticon football rewarding said community with a state semifinal appearance last season, and I think they played half their games and hosted some games on this turf. I mean, highly recommend if anyone watching has not come out here and can make the drive, do it. Come here out on a Friday or Thursday night. Take a look at the schedule. It is worth it. Cut to the outside for Marshall. Their offense and the run game has been worth it so far. Another first down.
Just taking a step back again, our own, very own Amy Hudson of our hometown today, 95.3 WBEV in the Daily Dodge TV studio. She was telling us during the halftime that this was not even close to this. It was kind of the opposite 5 years ago, and this community rallied around this group, and man, the rewards are evident.
Yeah, just improving the quality of this place and turning it into, honestly, a staple of the area. There's a lot to do in Dodge County, but if you want to go watch some football and really take in an atmosphere, I don't know if there's a better place.
No, and you and I, Aiden as well, all three of us when we got here today, jaws were on the ground walking in.
I'm still not over it.
I'm not either. I'm going to almost be sad I have to go do games elsewhere.
Got the Marshman logo between like the 43 of each side.
By the way, a dynamic logo.
Oh, yeah. We met the mascot a little bit ago during halftime. A swing handoff near side. Little pitch to Hardesty for a healthy gain.
Could hear that pop up here, too.
Big hit.
Big hit, lowering the shoulder. Both guys stand each other up, and now you got yourself a 3rd and short. Less than, about 10 minutes left. We'll be under 10 by the time we snap the next ball here.
Again, 2 programs to keep an eye on. Now, Tim Meyer, first-year head coach, again, was in this program last year, said they lost a lot of experience, but still a unit that has a lot of guys coming back who have that playoff experience. Would be curious what happens in about 9-10 weeks when the playoffs start, and this team's playing some very meaningful football against, maybe they run into another team that hasn't been in the postseason, hasn't made a 2nd or 3rd round appearance in a while. They have guys on this roster, a coaching staff and a coach who has experienced a deep run. That's valuable.
Oh, it is. And you just said it, though. It's a long season. These are young kids. It takes time. There's going to be growing teams.
Yep.
This is non-conference. You want to challenge yourself with big teams like this, and there's nothing wrong with struggling a little bit early on in the season.
That's where you tip the cap to somebody like Meyer taking on a challenge like this. A run to the outside. Marshall. Another touchdown.
And that was a great block by Colton Carpenter.
Oh.
Sorry, I had to double check, made sure it was the right number there before I told you that. He had a kick out block, had a huge hole over there by the hash, and able to just walk on through there, and now up 4 possessions, potentially up 40-14 with a made extra point. Oh no, they're going for 2. No, just kidding. We're back again. Corey, it's a long day.
It has been. That was Schlender on the rush, so his 2nd touchdown. Extra point is good. 40-14 with 9:15 to go here in the 4th. Mayville really lighting up the scoreboard here.
Just about everybody getting involved, too. This has got to be such an encouraging performance. You mentioned last week, while they stuck with the run a lot, maybe not the results they wanted, probably feel much better about the performance after this game here today.
Oh, yeah. So 2 for Hardesty, 2 for Schlender. Baker's got 1. Thorson has 1 as well. 6 touchdowns for Mayville. This one on the ground the whole way. Received at about the 26. Brought up to the 35, around the 37. That's where Husticon will take back over on offense.
Kickoff return by Stanky to the 36-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Husticon.
Would be interested to see if, depending on how this drive goes, you might start seeing some second-teamers in, get some guys some experience, especially in a non-conference game against a good team like this Mayville Cardinals team.
Get some valuable reps in.
Absolutely.
Meyer out of the gun, hands off. That run stifled around the line of scrimmage. Parker Elvis
Carried by Christian Schwartz.
making a big tackle there.
Loss of 1 on the play. Second and 11 at the 35.
Second and 11 here for Husticon. They've been a lot more throw heavy. We saw a lot of that in the opening week. Another pass here. Meyer going outside. Overshoots his man. And that's not good. Quentin Brown.
We saw this happen earlier. I'm pretty sure he's cramping up here.
As soon as he landed, you can kind of see the pain there. So hopefully just another cramp, and that is it. With that, we'll step aside for a quick 30-second break. The score 40-14, Mayville out in front here on Daily Dodge TV.
There's a lot of great teams in our area to cheer for this season, but why not join another winning team? McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. We've got quite the strong returning lineup this year with quick lift chairs, strong lazy boys, and comforting sectionals and sofas. At McKinstry's, we can even frame your favorite sports memorabilia like pictures and jerseys. Stop in and shop with another winning home team today. McKinstry's Home Furnishings.
Bit of a hobble. A huge part of this team's offense, and we talked about it. How often, Wally, do you see 2 opening play sequences for the entire game for 70-plus yard touchdowns? He's been a part of both of them. He's got speed, he's got grit, he's got talent, clearly wants to be a part of this game, clearly frustrated he has to leave, and hopefully it's nothing too long-term. There's Myers scrambling again. And wisely, as he's out of the pocket, just throws one out of play.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot at this age. I feel like a lot of times you see those guys pull it down and willing to take like a big hit for a yard or two. It's okay to pull it down, throw it away there. Now you got a 4th and 10. You have the punting unit coming on.
4th and 11 at the 35.
Got a final score on the other Daily Dodge TV game. Beaver Dam improving to 2-0 in non-conference play. They take down Baraboo. The Thunderbirds.
What a
35-7.
The Baraboo Thunderbirds. I'd sneakily one of my favorite team names all around.
I want to be a Thunderbird.
You and me both, buddy.
Punt here. Has some decent carry. Landing around the 36 and getting a phenomenal roll.
I think that was Gavin Peterman there.
Yeah, doing the let's put a little draft on this thing.
Yeah, just trying to give it a little fan, get an extra couple inches on that.
Hey, I respect it.
I will too, and I tell you, who else will? Anybody that has that inside 20 stat who is a punter, enjoying that you get it down there at the 17 there. Take that roll.
40-14. Mayville in front here. They've got the ball. One of the more run-oriented schemes you will see in the state. Spearheaded by Sawyer Hardesty. And you've mentioned the idea before where there's 20, 22 in the box. Exactly what we're seeing here. A run to the far side for a gain of about 2, maybe 3.
You are obviously familiar with the old school adage of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's been like 6 or 7 yards in a cloud of dust right now. 20 guys, like I said, in that box there, and you just get worn down in games like this. Your eyes are going everywhere, a lot of misdirection, and then you're tackling a 235-pound special back like Hardesty. It just wears on you throughout a game.
And then just when you think Hardesty has the ball, he doesn't.
And
somebody like a Landon Baker or a speedy Jordan Schlender comes at you.
Or a Chase Merritt.
Another run to the outside. Another first down for Mayville. And yeah, there's Chase Merritt. Maybe that 4th option. We're starting to understand what the pecking order out of this backfield is. There's a clear one in Sawyer Hardesty. Schlender more on those end-around jet sweep type of plays. We've seen Landon Baker from time to time do a little bit of both. Brent Seiler, Chase Merritt, kind of sharing that 4th spot.
This is a great opportunity, again, for Mayville as well to get some experience for guys that might not have been in very much in the first 2 games of the season.
A toss between the hashes. Brent Seiler getting another carry. Definitely seeing Mayville, at least in their backfield, kind of dive into that depth situation, because you never know. Maybe something happens with Hardesty, knock on wood, and you got to have a backup plan. You got to have a backup plan for everybody, but when you run the ball so well, you definitely have to understand what you have in the backfield there.
Well, and this is where you take a macro approach. It goes beyond this season. You want to help develop these guys, give them a little confidence going into an off season of their own.
6:30 to play in this one. A rush to the far side. There is Merritt again.
Carry by Merritt goes for a Mayville first down.
And obviously, huge credit to the offensive line here as well. We've complimented Hardesty on being that persistent answer of 4+ yards, putting this offense in a good spot. That doesn't happen if you can't get out of the backfield.
No, they've really controlled the trenches on both sides of the ball today. Just a very physical Mayville Cardinals team we're watching tonight.
Another toss to the outside. Time Landon Baker, and how about the defensive line coming through there for Husticon?
Carry by Landon Baker, lost a 2 on the play, stopped by Hurley.
And we've said Tristan Hurley's name quite a few times tonight, too, but a great read on that play. Makes a really good tackle. Strong tackle, 3 yards in the backfield there.
Just south of 6 minutes to play here.
Got that old Pete Carroll Seattle Seahawks rugby-style tackle, too. Take him on the back hip roll.
Yeah, good fundamentals there. Things you can look back on for week 2 tape and say, how do we replicate more of that? Landon Baker. Cutting across and making it third and manageable here.
Carry by Baker. Takes the ball in 49.
You've seen that a couple times tonight. The motion inside, you get a little bit of a jump. And again, this isn't like the NFL game. You can't jump back. As soon as you break into that neutral zone, it is a dead ball. 5-yard penalty. It's going to be tight. It might be enough for a first down, Corey.
Let's see where they mark this at.
It will be a first down.
After the penalty, it's going to be a first down for Mayville.
We're inside 5 minutes now, too. On the Gruber Law, one call, that's all scoreboard.
There you go. Again, slow and steady does it, just persistence. There is Hardesty reintroducing himself all the way down to the 30.
Carry by Hardesty takes the ball to the 30, first and 10 Mayville.
He's going to be a problem this year. He was a problem last year.
I was going to say, you're 235 pounds. There's not a lot of people that are going to be wanting to step in front of that big guy.
Especially 3.5 quarters into a game, kind of winding down here, and he hasn't seemed to miss a beat today.
We don't have like the stats in front of us yet, but I'd be shocked to know that he has not touched it another 25 times in this one.
For another 100 yards, too. We've had a few breakaway plays like that. Husticon takes a McKinstry's Home Furnishings timeout with 4:19 to play.
Wouldn't be surprised at all if you look at his all-purpose yards. It's closer to 150. He's had a couple of those sneaky big plays. We saw the 2 20-yard runs. He had that big third down catch over the top for another 15 or 20 yards. Just sneaky. 7 yards each time. It just adds up quickly.
Good call. They've gotten him involved in a variety of ways. And then once they start to see a defense like Husticon or last week, Cedar Grove, Belgium, a team that really likes to dive in on the run, overcommit, they make you pay down the field. They've got dudes on the outside, too.
And they've been masterful today, too, in their play calling, because it seems like every single time that Husticon is keyed in on the inside, you start stacking the A-gaps a little bit. Then you get that little motion, you get that quick toss, go back to the perimeter, and there's been big plays on the boundary.
I mean, this is an impressive stretch of about 5 years, ever since Scott Hilbert took over during the pandemic, by the way. So the season wasn't even what it usually would be. Team goes 5-2, 11-3 in their first full year, and they go all the way to the state title game. They run it back and do that in 13-1 fashion, undefeated until they did fall to Aquinas at the end. Last year, a bit of a step back, 5-6, but it looks like this team is picking up right where they left off in 2022. Just a brief hiatus, and again, most of those 6 losses were by a possession.
Yeah, you were telling me what earlier? Worst loss was like 28-14 last year.
Yep, everything was within 2 possessions. 3 of them were within 1. I mean, this is a team that was a few plays away from being a 9, 10, 11-win team again.
Feels like they're just a team, especially with the way we've seen them today, that just might be poised for another big breakout season.
And a lot of these seniors and juniors have that state-level experience. There's a run to the outside by Merritt. Merritt breaking through and into the end zone. Touchdown, Mayville, lighting up the scoreboard here.
Getting everybody involved. You could tell the fresh legs there hit that outside hard. Went through a weak arm tackle and running over the end in Horicon.
And one of the better offensive performances, even referencing back to last year for this Mayville squad. They look strong. The line's been great. A lot of different run combinations. 3:35 to play in this one here. And just the exclamation point on a phenomenal showing. That extra point might have been deflected, but it made its way through. At the very least, it was short.
That was just a weird-looking play. It looked like there might have been a little quick contact or a little bit of a jump on the outside, but got it through, and it counts the same.
Mm-hmm.
.335 remaining here. Seeing the Cardinals up 47-14.
I'm starting to wonder, how much of the starting offense is going to go back out there and how much will Tim Meyer maybe want to learn a little bit more about the depth pieces. This is a young team in general. And again, we've seen flashes. His big point with me when we were talking a couple of days ago ahead of this matchup was consistency. We've seen Quentin Brown put on a show twice now. I mean, he keeps that up, he'll be an all-conference honoree easily in 2024. But how do you replicate those?
Yeah, that's the thing, too, because even beyond those big touchdown plays, we're seeing him involved throughout the game. They're finding creative ways, little reverses, little tosses, using him in the backfield some.
A return up to about the 34, where Husticon will take over.
Still looks like quite a bit of the starters coming back out here.
Diego Rodriguez, slow to get up there as he walks back to the near sideline. That's another key weapon, right? On their second touchdown drive, he had the big chunk play to get this team into the red zone.
And a great catch, too. Hit him in stride. His arms fully extended. Tough play, strong hands. Definitely gave him a spark to start the second half.
And Coach Hilbert acknowledged that about this team. He said, this is one of those squads that can run a track meet on you. They can hurt you outside the numbers. That's been the bread and butter. Meyer has not been afraid to throw it there. He's scrambling here, heading to his right. Makes a move, gets past the sticks. And he's been elusive out in the open field. You mentioned this before, Wally. We're starting to see maybe more speed than we really recognized him for at the beginning.
Oh, 100%. Not only that, the shiftiness has shocked me, making 2 or 3 guys miss. And yeah, I know it's late. I know that this game is going to go a certain direction, but it's really encouraging, especially as a coach, of Coach Meyer. You're like, maybe we do call it up a little bit more when we need a big play.
And he truly is a dual-threat quarterback. We've seen the arm talent. Saw it on the first play of the game. And we've seen what he can do to extend plays, a couple designed runs as well. There's a run up the middle. Christian Schwartz spinning through for a couple of yards. 2:45 to play in this one, 47-14 the score. Mayville out in front on your Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All scoreboard. looking at all of the impressive, methodical, some more explosive towards the end drives that Mayville put up, I'm going to declare the first drive coming out of halftime as the Napleton Chevy Buick GMC drive of the game. Landon Baker's 6-yard rushing touchdown was really a microcosm of this entire contest where Mayville was dominating up front. They'd mixed the occasional pass in there, but it's been the ground game, and more ground game.
I completely sign off on that being the Napleton Buick drive of the game. It was just it felt like a huge opportunity for Husticon to get off the field, get the ball back, have a chance to make it a one-possession game. Instead, the Cardinals hit the third quarter the way they went into halftime, just moving the ball up and down the field, and it's been the same ever since in this third and fourth quarter.
That's the team to watch out for. Again, a resume that most 5-6 teams from 2023 would not have. You know, it's a cliche, but the record can kind of fool you, especially when you realize that a lot of these seniors and juniors played a part in a state championship finalist team in back-to-back years. Scott Hilber has quickly made a name for himself in Mayville.
Now inside 2 minutes here.
Look ahead at the schedule for Mayville, who will presumably exit this matchup 2-0 against Winnebago Lutheran next week. Starting off conference play. That rush going for negative yardage.
That's the thing, too. They're starting the year with 3 road games, come out with 2 big wins.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, coming off the 5-6 year, you can tell that they're hungry. You can tell that that's not what the Mayville Cardinals feel like they are. They want to show that they are still that state threat, that state contender. And right now, the way they're moving the ball, the way this offense looks, the way Sawyer Hardesty is, there's a reason to believe that that is the facts right there, that they are a contender.
And it's not going to be easy. The Flyway Conference and non-conference play going into today, 7-3 overall. 5 teams still without a loss. Mayville, one of them, as they'll improve to 2-0 and tie up with Laconia. And they're going to take on a Winnebago Lutheran team that sure was 0-1 going into tonight. But still, a lot of those Flyway Conference teams battle-tested. St. Mary's Springs looking for a title defense of the conference. They won it in 2023, and Mayville looking to return to success of years past.
Well, we've also seen Husticon change the conferences this year.
Yeah.
So we're going to see them get to play some new faces we're not used to seeing. They're a part of the Capital Conference now. We've already seen Lake Mills last night on Daily Dodge TV go to 2-0 with a 21-14 win over Marshall. They're also going to have Bigfoot now. They're also undefeated at 1-0. Columbus 1-0. Lodi, the defending state champions.
I mean, you want to talk about strength of schedule and a conference that's really going to challenge and likely help this Husticon team grow. Yeah, Lodi's in there. Columbus had the Division I recruit, and Colton Brunel is playing at North Dakota now. Lake Mills, as we saw firsthand 24 hours ago, no joke there.
A lot of speed there, too. A lot of size. You know about Rudabush out there. They took him away because they put 2 or 3 guys on him. Mm-hmm. Not every team is going to be able to do that, so you're going to want to keep your eyes on the L-Cats this year as well.
Yeah, Rudabush, a Yale commit, and yet he was all-conference honorable mention. I mean, you want to talk about a stacked conference in the Capital.
You and I, again, talk about being shocked. When we saw that last night, we thought it was a typo.
Uh-huh.
Like, no, he must have been first team.
And that very Lake Mills team, the next opponent for Husticon, they'll take them on next Friday here at home. And then it's a 3-game road trip after the 6th, the matchup on September 6th against Lake Mills. Husticon not going to be back here until October 4th. Wally, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the weather might be a little different at that point.
Yeah, and
We've
you
been
know,
lucky.
You guys are, or at least some of you are aware, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm just back here for the first time in over a decade, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I am not prepared for what's coming. Winter is coming, as they say, and I am not ready.
And all zeros on the scoreboard. Your final, 47-14. Mayville out in front of Husticon in the Marsh Falcons home opener. Tim Meyer's squad showing some progress, showing a lot of bright spots, specifically in that first half. But Mayville, they're looking a lot more like that team in 2022 as opposed to the team we saw a season ago that was struggling with consistency. Wally, they jumped to 2-0 in non-conference play.
We just talked about it a couple minutes ago, but this is a Mayville Cardinals team that wants to get back to that state contender class. after these first 2 games. They've got to at least be encouraged that they're doing it very physically. They're dominating teams in the trenches. And then again, Sawyer Hardesty, he looks like someone that a lot of people around the state are going to have to keep their eyes on.
Yeah, 235 pounds, and we kind of called it towards the beginning. Those 3, 4, 5-yard rushes turned into 7, 8, 9, one north of 20 towards the end there when the game was all but done. He is going to be a problem. I would say Ryan Clark is going to be a problem the way he is really able to general that offense, an offense that he's only got about 8 quarters of experience really running. And on the other side, Barrett Meyer looked calm, cool, and collected in certain situations, made a couple mistakes, but the thing I like about his game is he has a certain fearless element to him. He's willing to go out and scramble. He's willing to put his body on the line at times, and he's willing to make maybe riskier throws to take those shots down the field to guys like Quentin Brown.
If they're able to establish more of a run game this year, that passing game is going to open up so much. You can see there's a ton of talent, a lot of speed on the outside. And like you said, Meyer's got a great arm. You just got to establish a little bit of a run so defenses aren't cheating as much as they have been able to in the first couple weeks.
So a 33-point win for Mayville. Again, Husticon back here at home in a week against Lake Mills as they begin conference play. Mayville begins conference play as well, going up against Winnebago Lutheran in a week. The final on the other Daily Dodge TV game for tonight, 35-7. Beaver Dam, the Golden Beavers, taking down the Thunderbirds. Still one of the coolest names you'll see. One of the coolest stadiums you can find in the state of Wisconsin, and I would argue in high school in general, right here in beautiful Horicon. Wally, but a pleasure.
Great as awesome, or always. Aiden, thank you so much.
Aiden Voigt, our video engineer, doing a phenomenal job here.
Amen, exactly. This is just a great night. Thank you, everybody, to have us out here, and looking forward to doing some more football this year for you, so keep your eyes on Daily Dodge TV.
And a huge thank you to Columbus Family Dental, Hometown Glass and Improvement, and, of course, Moraine Park Technical College. You can make Moraine Park Technical College your first choice for an education tailored to your success and growth, with campuses in Beaver Dam, in Fond du Lac, and in West Bend. You can visit morainepark.edu/first choice to learn more, as well as McKinstry's Home Furnishings, Kladowski Real Estate, Slumberland, Pizza Ranch, Park Village Shopping Center, Richards Insurance, Preferred Dental Partners, Napleton Chevy Buick GMC. Again, the Napleton Chevy Buick GMC drive of the game. Landon Baker's 6-yard rushing touchdown to really break the game open to start the second half off. Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly. Gruber Law Offices, our scoreboard sponsor. Beaver Dam and Mayville Tire and Service, Air Care, Jerry's BP, Silica for your home, and Moraine Park Technical College. One more time on your Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Scoreboard 47-14 your final. Mayville takes it over Husticon here on Daily Dodge TV.